night over Long Beach, California. We are at Infinite Reality Studios, and this place is already packed because Lights Out continues to grow, and it continues to grow into a monster that Shawn Marman is building, and all lights are inside the cage today. So I'm glad you're all with us live on Fubo. He's Blake Bulletproof Troop. I am Pablo Alcina, and this is Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14. And yes, Shawn Marman is building a monster, and today we have two main events, and the main event might lead to a first ever two-time two-weight class champ. Now, Blake, you're a professional wrestler. Which is your catchphrase when you wrestle?
Blake Bulletproof Troop, known for dropping warheads on people's foreheads, and that's exactly what I do inside the professional wrestling ring, and that's exactly what I've done here inside the Lights Out Xtreme Fighting cage.
And today, Tommy the Spaniard Aaron could become the first time ever two-time champion in two different weight classes. He's the lightweight champ, but today he's going to fight for the welterweight championship. Talk about how hard it is for Tommy Aaron to go up in a weight class.
So Tommy Aaron's not only going up a weight class and fighting a bigger opponent with a lot of experience who has very heavy hands, but Tommy just had twin boys, what, 2 lights out to go? Twin boys, 2 lights out to go, and maybe he's going home with some twin lights out jewelry tonight, LXF 14.
And Tommy Aaron said, skills and talent wins you fights, but it's the heart that makes a champion. That's what's going to give him the title today. So let's get this action going. He's Blake Bulletproof Troop. I'm your friend, Pablo Alcina, and let's get this show rolling with Tyson Johnson, our cage announcer.
And now, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Thunder Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are streaming live on Fubo Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am your host, the Iron Man Tyson Johnson, for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14. Your promoter is Shawn Lights Out Merriman. Your matchmaker, Antonio Jimenez. This event is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission and CAMO, the leader in amateur mixed martial arts. Your commissioner is Peter Villegas, the executive director, Andy Foster, your timekeeper for this evening, Mrs. Jill Trigg. Ladies and gentlemen, your physicians at ringside, Dr. Kyle Beard and Dr. James Brown. Tonight, judges, ladies and gentlemen, will be Daniel Mobley, Chris Crail, Milan Ayers, and Jonathan Romero. Refereeing, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's event will be Mike Beltran, Milan Ayers, and Jonathan Romero. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 9 exciting bouts coming your way, including 3 World Championship bouts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready to put some lights out? At this time, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Luke Duran.
Luke Duran coming out, starting off our first fight of the televised card. And Pablo, we had a few preliminary bouts before going on air, and we had some bangers. 2 people already went lights out, and now we're getting started with some heavy-hitting action on the live broadcast.
Duran, 5'8", with 6 amateur fights under his belt. Luke Duran taking on Anthony Whitfield. I love what Lights Out does with some of these amateur fights. We're seeing some amazing talent, and coming up in another amateur fight, we're going to see a former Oregon Duck linebacker who's now taken into MMA, and he's turning this sport on its head because, yes, he's 28 years old, but he brings that linebacker football player mentality, and he's quickly making a name of himself.
Yeah, and that is AJ All-Day Hodgkins that you're talking about right now, Pablo. And I believe that that kid has what it takes to be a future Lights Out Xtreme Fighting professional middleweight champion. He has a long way to go from here, but he is doing all of the right things to get him there to the pinnacle of the sport.
But first, we have this fight between Luke Duran and Anthony Whitfield. We are live on Fubo. Thank you for all of us that are tuning in. Make sure to tell your friends, hey man, put on Fubo. It's Blake and Pablo. They're calling these lights out fights, and Shawn Marman is in the building. We have Cain Velasquez in the building, former UFC heavyweight champion. Great to see Cain Brown Pride Velasquez again. I've known him for over 10, 12 years covering the sport, covering him. Great to see him in person. He's going to be in the corner of the main event. So it's going to be an interesting fight all the way around. What a great night we have here, and awesome to be live on Fubo Sports alongside Blake Bulletproof Troop.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Anthony Scooter Whitfield.
So this amateur bantamweight belt, Tony Whitfield, 1-1 against Luke Duran, 3-3. Both of these guys are not new to fighting inside of the cage, and they're about to have the biggest fight of their careers to date under the bright lights here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting.
They're amateurs, but they're feeling everything that it's like for a pro fighter to feel, to be underneath these lights, to have these celebrities in the building, to have us calling the fights live on Fubo. What an experience. And you know, check out Anthony Whitfield enjoying it, all smiles. I like the attitude, I like the smiles. You know, there's two ways. Some come in with a poker face, some come in smiling and happy. I tend to like the high energy happiness more than the poker face.
Yeah, you know, it definitely varies based upon the personality of each of the fighters. I definitely agree that positive emotion is always one of the better things to lead towards before a major pressure situation like a fist fight in front of everybody you know.
Fist fight or knee fight or elbow fight, all kinds of fights here in Lights Out 14.
Speaking of elbows and knees, this is an amateur bout, so we will not see knees or elbow strikes to the head of an opponent. However, they don't have shin pads on. You can punch, kick to the head, just like a professional bout, but no knees or elbows. Just to the head, though.
It's an amateur fight. We have several pro fights. Let's go to the tail of the tape between Whitfield and Duran. Any numbers jump out of you, Blake?
You know, there's not a massive difference except for a slight record difference. 3 years difference, inch height difference, about a half-pound difference. Not a whole lot of difference, and both these guys look like they're ready for battle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be three-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is being brought to you by Family First Life. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He represents Sixon's Muay Thai with a mixed martial arts record of 3 wins and 3 defeats. He hails from Van Nuys, California. Please welcome Luke Duran.
Liking the energy in the building
and
already.
his opponent, Blake, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He represents the Universal Grappling Academy with a mixed martial arts record of 3 wins and 2 defeats. He hails from Victorville, California. Please welcome Anthony Scooter Whitfield. Your referee for this amateur bout is Jonathan Romero.
Pablo, you mentioned the energy in the room, and it is electric. It's gotten quiet right now, but I bet as soon as this bell rings and these dudes start throwing some leather, it's going to get loud in here.
And Lights Out 14 is underway. Whitfield Duran touching gloves. Whitfield fighting out of the red corner. The black trunks, the dreads flowing.
Great job of movement by Duran, trying to pump his jab out. You can see him.
Ooh,
whoa!
Nice.
And Whitfield throws
right by Whitfield, and an exchange by both. And Duran ducking and weaving out of harm's way, but I like the exchange early. Whitfield hunting him down. Nice combo again by Whitfield.
Well, let's see if Duran almost gets under him and gets the takedown there, but bails on him. Duran trains at Saxon Muay Thai. You can see Georgie Garcia in his corner, who is a fantastic fighter who's fought around the world. But Saxon is definitely a Muay Thai-based gym, as you can see with his Thai clinch and knees here against the cage.
Yeah, in this corner yelling, knees, 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 and here come the knees, and the Muay Thai clinch is in solid. And Duran flinging those knees, and another one to the stomach.
Yeah, the Muay Thai clinch is such an effective control position where you can land brutal damage to your opponent's torso. As we saw Duran just do to Whitfield, Whitfield was finally able to time a knee and catch it for the takedown. However, he took 6, 7, 8 knees before that happened.
Yeah, and even the ones he blocked, you're still blocking a hard knee with your forearms.
Yeah, the thing about knee is it pretty much always wins. Whitfield needs to needs to explode and drag that takedown, just like he did there. Duran did a great job of getting himself vertical again. Went back to the tie clinch.
And he got him again, and that one connected as well. Whitfield breathing heavy after that knee.
I think Duran's being very smart right here by being patient, backing up, and now looking for some straight strikes.
Oh, good low kicks by both. Nice combination by Whitfield. Now looking for another takedown, and he gets it.
Whitfield's 2 for 2 were takedowns against the cage thus far. I'd like to see Duran do a better job of angling out when there's forward pressure from Whitfield. Whitfield here needs to grab that wrist so that he's able to put Duran flat on his side. As long as that hand is on the ground, it's keeping him up vertical in a position where he's going to be able to stand up.
In a weird way, a good round for both because Duran caused some damage with the knees. Whitfield got his takedowns. Who do you think did enough to steal this round from the judges?
You know, we're going to have to see this next 45 seconds for me to have a decisive decision on that. We got the better of the strike of Duran thus far, the better of the control by Whitfield. A little more damage for Duran, a little more control time for Whitfield. It's really what the judges are seeing. We got 30 seconds left for one of these guys to let the judges know who thinks it round it was.
Whitfield keeps going forward. Big haymaker that misses high and outside.
Whitfield starts to seem like he's finding his rhythm and his range. I'd like to see him start setting those shots up. He has a great shot, but if he hides it behind a punch or two, he won't get his arms stuck like this or wrapped up as much because he'll be able to get deeper.
They call him Scooter. I wasn't expecting so many takedown attempts from Whitfield. And that's a fun first round, getting Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14 underway. I am Pablo Alcina, alongside Blake Bulletproof Troop. Make sure to find us on social media. Tell us you watched, send us messages, and we like to respond to everybody who writes to us. So feel free to reach out. Let's go to the highlights. Fun first round, Blake.
It was a great first round. We saw Whitfield continually trying to pressure Duran against the cage. This was that wild exchange in the opening seconds where both guys were banging on each other. They got caught against cage several times. This was, in my opinion, was Duran's biggest moment of the round, was this Muay Thai clinch and landing repetitive knees to the body.
Good knees, the Muay Thai. There are a couple are blocked, but a bunch are going straight in to that sternum.
Yeah, so it was a very close round. I'm a bigger fan of damage than control time, so I would give a slight edge to Duran. 10-9 Duran as we go into the second round.
Even with all the takedowns.
That's one of the tough things. It's a very subjective thing. It's not like basketball where we have a score to look at. My objective or subjective opinion is Duran won that round, not by a whole lot. And I could see it being judged the other way.
I agree with you. I think in my eye, Duran won it, but I think in the judges' eyes, they might have given it to Whitfield just because he finished on top at the end. He had the takedowns. But that's why there's always 3 judges and another 2,000 around the cage. Nice combination again, low kick by Whitfield.
You can really see Duran sitting down and trying to bomb back on these haymakers when they start to exchange. You see him dropping his weight down again there, where when you really sit on your punches, it adds a significant amount of power to those strikes.
Whitfield keeps haunting him down, keeps backing up against the fence, but this time hasn't been able to connect on those punches.
See, once Whitfield gets inside, if he even throws a little bit of hands, like in a feinting way, like he's pretending to, then fires a shot exactly like that. Hide the shot behind his hands. Duran was ready for it and almost caught him with a knee in the head, but that is exactly what I think Whitfield needs to do more of if he wants to continue to get these takedowns. And instead of grinding here, I'd like to see him clasp his hands between the legs of Duran and just lift him up and dump him.
Whitfield responding now with some knees of his own, but a big gash on Duran.
That is a big cut above the right eye of Duran. I'm not entirely sure when that happened in the last 30 seconds.
Was there a head clash, maybe? Because I don't remember a punch connecting.
You know, when they're in the pocket banging like this, it's absolutely possible. Great job by Whitfield there, I think, trying to escape the exchange and bailing on the exchange and going to the takedown.
Yeah, and now the eye test is putting Whitfield ahead in this round. You see heavy breathing from Duran, a big gash in the blood and the mouth opening to breathe, and now Interesting position here. Does he have any kind of a choke from there, Blake? No.
No, so if I were Whitfield, I'd just kind of sprawl down on the guy and squish him. Make him struggle to breathe, make him hate life, and not want to be in that position. Yeah, I wouldn't even look for a quote-unquote submission here. I would be riding my opponent ruthlessly right now.
The words from Blake Bulletproof Troop, professional MMA fighter. How many pro fights did you have, Blake?
14 professional MMA fights, and my 15th one was supposed to be the main event for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 5, fighting for the heavyweight belt. Unfortunately, COVID changed that, but who knows what the future holds, Pablo.
Who knows? Plenty of time still left. 28 seconds to go in this second round.
Here's this tie clinch again, but we don't see Duran get himself off the cage in a position where he can utilize it for his striking offense.
Second round all for Whitfield in my book.
Yeah, I would definitely say Whitfield has started to get into second gear and taking this fight handily.
Low kick. Yes, they wear protective gear, but it still hurts.
Yeah, it'll still rock your world a little bit, getting hit in the protective equipment. I think that this was a very good moment for Durant. He looked like he was starting to be out of breath when he was on the bottom against the cage. It almost looked like he looked up in a tired, not wanting to be there type expression on his face. He's got several minutes now, up to 5 minutes to recover now from this accidental groin strike, which will, in my opinion, give him a significant amount of time to recover his breathing.
And there's only a couple seconds left to go in the round, so then he'll have a more extended break in between rounds as well. Shame for Whitfield, he was really controlling the fight. But hey, you got to watch those low kicks.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that it's going to change much of the momentum at the moment. Oh, there we go, into the second round. I would give that round 10-9 to Whitfield. Very, very decisive.
Highlights all one way. It was Scooter Whitfield doing most of the damage.
There was that knee. I was saying that Scooter needed to hide his takedowns behind his hands, and Duran was waiting for that time. This is some more of that wild bang into the pocket. You can almost see that might have been where the cut got opened up. We see fresh blood running down the face of Duran here. And Whitfield back to those takedowns against the cage, which were really the story of round number 2. Whitfield looks very fresh sitting on the bench right there, listening to his coaches, looking around. Duran looks exhausted, hands up on his coach. Not that he's out of this fight, but fatigue is one of the worst things to have when you're inside of the cage. They say fatigue makes cowards out of men. It's much harder to implement your offense, and it's much easier, in my opinion, to break someone when they're exhausted. And here we go for our third and final round in the opening matchup here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14.
Whitfield, as he has done most of the fight, going forward. Duran stepping side to side, except for a brief moment of 30 seconds of Muay Thai clinch and knees. Very little from Duran since.
Yeah, I'd like to see Duran maybe start pumping out his jab
there
or
we
his
go.
cross.
Good strong body kick blocked by Whitfield, but that was something different from Duran.
So Duran is continually fading to his right-hand side for the majority of the time, which is just outside of Whitfield's lead leg, which is a much safer place to be. And whoa, nice leg kick there. But fading outside your opponent's lead leg is a much safer place to be than fading towards their rear hand.
Whitfield responding with a strong kick of his own. These are just 3-minute rounds, so time running out on Duran.
Yeah, I'd like to see Whitfield. I think Whitfield can get a finish in the next 90 seconds if he continues the pressure and starts really trying to put Duran away.
Muay Thai clinch working again for Duran. A couple body blows got through for Whitfield.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him disengage from that Muay Thai clinch. We saw him disengage at the end of the second round. He looks like he's looking for a left high kick. We saw him throw that switch kick up at the beginning of the round. It wouldn't surprise me if he believes that he can land a big left head kick and put his opponent's lights out.
Again, the mouth opening for Duran. Looks a little bit more tired than Whitfield, who's moving around great.
Yeah, it's almost been constant pressure from Whitfield, who's now feinting from the outside, looking for his openings, being patient and not just rushing in recklessly. But I'd like to see him hit the gas a little harder here and look for a finish in these closing minutes.
Ooh,
There it is, another big takedown probably for Whitfield. I'd like to see him taken for a ride. Whoa, and we see blood now on Whitfield's face. Is that blood that has come down from Duran, or is there a fresh cut on his face? Hard to tell. I'd like to see Whitfield yank his opponent's hips away from the wall, which would put Duran's back flat on the mat. If he gets his back flat on the mat, it'll be significantly easier for him to land some strikes or get behind and finish with a choke.
There's heavy blood on the foot also. I think it's the same cut from Duran that opened up more. Or is Whitfield bleeding?
It looks like it's on Duran's back.
Yeah, it might be Whitfield bleeding.
Whitfield is leaking. You can see it coming out his head right here where we are.
Right in front of us, but we can't quite see.
Yeah, Whitfield now has both hooks, and I'd like to see him get double underhooks on the arms and try and flatten his opponent out. If he flattens him out, he might be able to land some big ground and pound strikes and finish this fight.
Final 10 seconds. The cut is over Whitfield's eyebrow. His right eyebrow. Big gash for Whitfield. But he's holding on, trying to win this fight any way he can.
Oh, and he's looking for that leg submission, hamstring stretch there in the closing seconds of the round. We're going to a decision, but those dudes just came out and scrapped.
What a fun fight to kick off Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. Quick break, and we'll be back with the official decision. This is Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Fubo has over 200 channels of live TV, sports, and news for half the cost of cable. To celebrate Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14, Fubo is offering a special discount for Lights Out fans. Visit FuboTV.com/LXF. That's FuboTV.com/LXF to start your free trial. Fubo TV. Waiting for the official decision between these two. He's Blake Bulletproof Troop. I am Pablo Alcina. We promised a bunch of banger fights, and the first one was quite a good one.
Man, we had two people go to sleep during the preliminary bouts, and now we have blood all over the floor after our first televised bout. Man, Pablo, they are bringing some scraps tonight to Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
And the main event and the co-main event are amazing. Let's go to Tyson Johnson with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for both of these gladiators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, judge number 1 scored the bout 29-28 for Duran. Judge number 2 scored the bout 29-28 Whitfield. And judge number 3 scored the bout 29-28 for your winner by split decision out of the red corner, Anthony Scooter Whitfield.
Whitfield with the victory by split decision. Let's go to Bonnie Jill Laughlin, who has our winner.
What a fight. First of all, you had a lot of confidence coming into the cage. How did you keep that up throughout the entire fight?
Just trusting my training and believing in the people that believed in me. You know, they believe in me for a reason, and I don't want to disappoint.
You can see Duran was gassed. Did that help you with your takedowns?
Definitely. When I caught him breathing heavy, second round, I wanted to initiate a lot of my grappling. Last time I was here, I didn't get the opportunity to do that, so I really want to show it off this fight.
First fight, we already got a lot of blood, and I didn't even know it was a cut. When did you get cut?
Ooh, and that was the third round. Third round, he hit me with a beautiful, heavy left hook. I didn't know I got cut at first. It wasn't until I took him down, see myself leaking. I was like, am I bleeding? Checked it out. I was like, okay, it was a nice punch.
Anthony, what's next for you?
Back to the lab. I got another fight in March in my hometown, Atlanta, and just training hard and getting ready for the next.
Congratulations, Anthony. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bonnie. Well, that was a fun amateur fight. Again, amateur fights, but what Lights Out is building, they're building future stars and giving them this amazing experience.
Yeah, being able to come here and compete under some of the brightest lights in the business, rubbing shoulders with greats like tonight we have one of the heavyweight goats, Cain Velasquez, in the house. It is such a fantastic opportunity for young fighters to have here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting.
Let's go to the highlights of this fight as we get ready for our next one. I liked what I saw from Anthony Whitfield. They call him Scooter. His takedowns kind of impressed me. There we saw a couple.
Yeah, great job. This was a big knee that Duran almost caught Scooter with. You're not allowed to knee an opponent in the head. However, he didn't throw that towards his opponent's head. His opponent shot it. But here is some more of the scrapping that we saw these boys go through. It was a split decision win, and both guys had some awesome moments throughout the fight. But I'll be honest, Pablo, I am glad that they got the decision right. I felt like Whitfield did enough to win 2 of the rounds, and I was a little concerned when I heard the scores getting read off. But I think the judges got it right, so I'm going to let it slide.
Yeah. Well, again, that first round was kind of difficult, and that's where I thought maybe. But Whitfield definitely won it in our side. What did you guys think at home? Follow us. We have a lot more coming up. This is Lights Out Xtreme Fighting. Pablo Alcina, Blake Bulletproof Troop, and this is Lights Out Xtreme Fighting. Shawn Marman building a monster, baby. Coming up next, AJ Hodgkins, former Oregon Ducks
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Ian Russell.
This is a catch weight fight at 195 pounds. Ian Russell, undefeated as an amateur. Oh, Cain Velasquez was talking to me about him also. He's an amateur. He says he's got all the talent, and he's coming on strong, undefeated as an amateur. In front of him, he has AJ Hodgkins, which we've already talked about. But now I'm really looking forward to this fight because he's part of Team AKA. Shout out to Javier Mendez. And there's Cain Velasquez. So see if I can grab Cain. Oh, yeah, there's Cain. We're going to try to grab Cain for an interview in a little bit. So Cain's in his corner.
But yeah, you see a bunch of AKA guys on this card, including in our main event. So you know that Ian Russell has been getting in a lot of work with a lot of top guys preparing for competition. Something else worth noting. He's coming out and fighting a very, very tough AJ Hodgkins in his debut here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14. AJ is no slouch, and we will get back to talking about AJ in just a second.
Lights Out cage, AJ Hodgkins.
Pablo, and this is one of the people that I am most excited to be watching tonight. AJ Hodgkins, former Division I linebacker at Oregon State. This guy is an incredible athlete, well-conditioned, extremely explosive, and he knows how to compete in sports. It's not just about the moves, it's how you make it all work together. This guy has learned how to play football at almost the highest level, and now he's bringing that sports IQ here to the Lights Out Xtreme Fighting cage, making his walk for the 5th time out to the cage. He's 3-1, and I believe that this kid has all of the potential in the world to be a major star within the mixed martial arts industry.
There he is, AJ Hodgkins. The physique says it all. This guy played for the Oregon Ducks. I did a story up in Oregon in Eugene, so I did a story on the football team and how they get trained and how they get fed and how every single minute of the day their nutrition, their fitness, their workouts are all programmed. Their facilities are amazing. Pro teams don't have what Nike built for Oregon Ducks in their facilities. It's just amazing. And all the players that I've met that come from that system, they're all like that. They're all like just machines. And I think we're seeing that now transfer over to MMA for this AJ Hodgkins and his training and just his preparation.
Yeah, once you have competed at the level like that, especially under such a regimented system as college sports, you know this kid has a ton of discipline. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, Pablo.
Oh, look at the ball. They just missed his standing backflip he did to enter. But yeah, so taller Ian Russell, much longer reach, but again, Hodgkins has long arms as well.
Hey.
Let's go to Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be 3-minute rounds in a catchweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is being brought to you by Fubo Sports. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 6 feet, 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 195 pounds. He represents Team AKA with an undefeated record of 3 wins and 0 defeats. He hails from San Jose, California. Please welcome Ian Russell.
Ian Russell from Team AKA.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 195 pounds. He represents Team All Day with a mixed martial arts record of 3 wins and 1 defeat. He hails from El Paso, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AJ Hodgkins. Your referee for this bout will be Milan Ayers.
Lots of confidence, lots of swag for AJ Hodgkins, also for Ian Russell. When you have Cain Velasquez and Team AKA in your corner, you know you're going to have confidence. But in front, it's got AJ Hodgkins saying, this MMA sport, it's my new game.
A very explosive and ready to come out of the corner, AJ Hodgkins. I'm almost a little concerned Ian Russell looks too calm here.
Fight underway, they don't touch hands.
Whoa!
High kick from Ian Russell. Nice strong front kick.
Yeah, Ian Russell has some very long limbs. He's been utilizing straight punches and kicks thus far. Now that both guys are right, whoa, that was some powerful hands by Ian Russell down the middle. I'd like to see Russell start pulling the trigger more often.
This is clearly the best opponent A.J. Hotchkiss has ever faced, and I'd also easily say the biggest he has faced as well.
Whoa, beautiful overhand by A.J. Hotchkiss. Great job mixing it up. Let's see if he's able to finish the takedown and keep Ian Russell down. He is not. However, he does still have the single leg up, and Ian Russell's back against the cage.
Look at the size of the quads on both of these guys, but especially AJ.
You know, I am actually really surprised Ian Russell can make 195 pounds. He is a big, solid dude, over 6 feet tall. I am also interested in what does his gas tank look like. I wonder how big his cut was. I took massive cuts when I fought, and it drastically impaired my body, put handcuffs on my body's ability to perform. And I gotta wonder, this big Ian Russell, did he cut a lot of weight for this fight?
But again, I want to mention the Team AKA. They're known for having those high motors. The Daniel Cormiers, the Cain Velasquez, these big guys that don't get tired. Let's see if Ian Russell's from that same school. But I agree with you. He just looks like a giant at 195.
You know, not just that, but you can see him actually being very smart where he was strategically leaning his weight on A.J. Hotchkiss. Even now, he's kind of pressing his weight into A.J. So A.J., whoa!
Oh, mouthpiece.
Ian Russell, oh, he is lucky. A.J. Hotchkiss, A.J. Hotchkiss, if I were him, I would have let that kick fly initially. That was very sportsmanlike, and Ian Russell is lucky that A.J. Hotchkiss did not jump on him in that moment of time, which would not have been cheap, would have been within the rules 100%.
And again, being an amateur fight also, you know, you want to have the sportsmanship play a little bit more, but these guys are flinging serious leather here.
I mean, but people want to talk about sportsmanship, and you're in here fighting somebody, trying to beat them unconscious. You know, what's acceptable or not inside or outside the rules.
Especially if it's in the rules.
Exactly. Oh, another big overhand right. The way that Ian...
Superman punch from Ian Russell. And that one landed clean. But Hutchinson's showing that skill, that heart.
Yeah, the heart out of A.J. Hotchkiss to continue to take those ground and pound shots, stay on top, get a takedown, and now he is riding Ian Russell. What a turn of events we saw there for a moment. I would like to see A.J. Hotchkiss maybe even disengage here and try and throw some bombs off the disengagement.
I want to see that Superman punch.
Yes.
Again, high kick from Hutchinson. Throws him to the side, and we got ourselves a banger of a fight.
Yeah, these dudes are scrapping.
Yeah. Hotchkiss, look at that smile.
Yeah, look at the smile on A.J. Hotchkiss'
As an
face.
MMA fighter, I don't think he had gotten challenged yet like he's being challenged right now. And we're seeing that animal come out of A.J. Hotchkiss.
You are absolutely seeing the animal. You saw him get hit. And
what did he tell us just now? He was just telling you something. I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it with the headphones on. But let's take a look at some of these replays. Man, that was an incredibly fun first round. There's that Superman punch Ian Russell landed towards the end of the round. And you see A.J. Hotchkiss immediately, instinctually start fighting, looking for that leg. Didn't get the takedown, but he did not quit. And those are moments that really show a lot of a fighter's character and what they're going to do. He was definitely hurt a little bit by that punch, but he continued to fight and look for the takedown. A very close round. I'm going to give it to A.J. Hotchkiss just for ending on top, but it was a lot of very back and forth action, and I cannot wait for this second round, Pablo.
I wanted to see A.J. Hotchkiss fight again, and then once I found out that he was facing a Team AKA member trained by Cain Velasquez, I said, oh, we got ourselves a fight. And now they're both jawing with each other. The referee getting involved in it. Let's go, smiling. They're touching gloves, and round two's underway. A.J. Hotchkiss out of the red corner.
I like that they're smiling and enjoying themselves. In my opinion, they're both pushing each other to be the best versions of themselves right now. So it's a very encouraging thing where they're both like, dude, let's do this, which I love to see things like that.
Yeah, lots of times you'll see an amateur fight and there'll be one guy clearly outmatching the other. Not the case in this fight here. Solid matchmaking right here.
Yeah, this is great. I'd like to see AJ escape his hips to his right-hand side. Instead of staying on the cage, pop his hips out, rotate a 90-degree angle. His hips can escape to, now his hips can escape to the left side.
Now look interesting, AJ now lost his mouthpiece.
So again, we saw Ian Russell kind of leading against A.J. Hotchkiss. A.J. Hotchkiss reverses the position and now is working the takedown on Ian Russell. I'd like to see him really start to ride him here and maybe dump him backwards once he starts really scrambling to his feet.
And here's the question of how much gas tank does that big fella have?
That's exactly what I was starting to wonder as well. We are past the halfway point of this fight, and he definitely does not look like he has the same output that he had in the first round. AJ, however, has not slowed down.
No, and AJ got angry after that Superman punch.
Yeah, so these knees to the thigh, they don't look like anything big, but if you can take a guy's wheels out from under him, you can do a whole lot more stuff to him. As we just saw AJ get that takedown with ease, and now continuing to ride Ian Russell here in the second round.
AJ won in Lights Out Extreme Fighting 11 with a round 2 submission in a fight he clearly dominated. Oh, nice little flip reversal there.
Yeah, AJ was just riding him. He went for a Granby roll, but
nice
it
side
did not
control.
pay off. We see AJ pass to side control,
and he
has
busted
a far
open.
side underhook.
And he busted open Ian Russell's above his left eye.
If AJ Hotchkiss is able to slide that knee all the way across, he needs to get his foot outside of those legs. Right now, this is called three-quarter mount because his ankle's still caught. If he's able to get his knee all the way across like this, full mount, this is a potentially fight-ending position here.
And now he's got the back, trying to softening him up for that rear naked choke.
I'd like to see AJ Hotchkiss just turn and go for a calf slicer here. That foot is sunk perfectly in position.
Look at the blood on Ian Russell. AJ Hotchkiss doesn't stop.
Yeah, and he has just been grinding Ian Russell down. As soon as he really got this body lock, it has just been all grind, grind, grind. And we are seeing the results of these actions all over Ian Russell's bloodied face here in the second round.
You know, Hotchkiss didn't wrestle in college. He was a football player, but you know he's got that body and that physique to dominate in wrestling as well.
And it's just about understanding, learning how to do technique, and then doing enough repetitions and it becomes instinctual, which he has absolutely been putting in that work. This second round, I think that we are starting to see AJ Hotchkiss run away with this fight, which I am extremely impressed to see after the danger he was in at the beginning of round 1.
Yeah, and there's AJ. He's dancing, he's bobbing his head, he's smiling at us. It looks like he's got plenty of gas left as we watch these highlights. Round 2 dominated by the Oregon Duck, AJ Hotchkiss.
Yeah, so AJ doing a great job of getting his opponent down and then riding the big man, making the big man move all of his weight and taking several punches in the face at a time, consistently dragging him down. Here we saw Ian Russell go for a Granby roll. Cage got in the way, and immediately AJ Hotchkiss reverses and comes up on top inside control.
Great second round for AJ. Cut in Ian Russell. What is Team AKA telling the big fella, Ian Russell?
I think they're going to tell him, let your hands.
There's Cain Velasquez, 2-time UFC heavyweight champion.
And arguably one of the GOATs of the heavyweight division. I would definitely say he is in contention for that discussion. But let's get back to this incredible action inside the cage in our second matchup here at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
Round 3, AJ versus Ian.
Oh, it's probably checking the cut. I think it's right above the eye. I don't think it's bad enough for them to stop this fight right now. Good, referees letting them continue. Both guys ready to go, and AJ Hotchkiss almost came out of the corner ready to get hot. He's got to be feeling good about how that second round went. If he's able to continue fighting, continue keeping the fight in this area, then I definitely think we're going to see him grind Ian Russell down and even potentially finish him with some ground and pound.
AJ knows he's got, he's looking for a suplex there.
Man, take that big boy over your head. And he's exhausted. And one of the things AJ's been doing a lot of is attacking the legs. You just saw him punch him there. He's been throwing a lot of knees from this rear body lock position. I'd like to see him continue that. It looks like Ian Russell's trying to dig out I thought he was looking for a double wrist lock. Russell has got to turn to face Ian Hotchkiss. He cannot continue to stand here with his back just like this. He needs to fight himself and spin around and face AJ, so all of his weapons are facing AJ, and he can utilize them in this battle.
Easier said than done, though. He has that big AJ on him.
beautiful job
Hodgkins
of
drops him down.
Yeah, switching back and forth, grinding on this, switching this, go over the takedown. The ability to flow between a variety of different attack styles is extremely high level, and I'm very impressed with A.J. Hodgkins' ability to do that in just his 5th amateur fight against such a tough opponent as well.
And a big fella and a catch weight of 195, and I'm wondering if that catch weight was to help Ian Russell.
You know, you got to wonder how short notice was Ian Russell picked for this matchup, or vice versa. I have no idea about some of...
Oh! And now he's got the back, and Hutchins wants to end it here.
So he has 90 seconds about left on the clock, and I can definitely see A.J. Hodgkins unloading and potentially getting a ground and pound finish here before the closing bell.
Got plenty of time left, 70 seconds to go in this, the 3rd and final round.
I think he did a great job of coming over with something really big. These chipping shots are going to batter a guy and beat him up, but it's not going to get him the finish. He needs to try and land something big, so I don't know if he's going to try and get Ian Russell to his back or really separate and throw something even more powerful from the feet.
Now, the moment for me that I felt won the fight for A.J. Hodgkins was when he got clocked with the Superman punch, and it didn't even faze him. He quickly responded, turned that over, got on top again, and he showed that resilience that, well, a hard hit isn't going to stop me, and I think it angered him.
You know, sometimes it takes a moment like that to be a catalyst towards changing things. You saw the dog come out A.J. Hodgkins.
Boom!
And that dog has not left the cage and has continually been scrapping it here. There's about 30 seconds left on the clock, and A.J. Hodgkins has had relentless pressure for the last 7 to 8 minutes.
And that was a hard football tackle up against the post that he just delivered right there. And the fence has some gives, but the post part is solid. And Hodgkins just drilled them right in there. Final seconds in this one.
I love that there's no quitting in Russell either. There's barely any time left on the clock. He's bleeding out of his face, and he's still swinging and chasing his opponent down. What an incredibly fun fight. I'm not always a huge fan of decisions, but what an awesome fight by A.J. Hodgkins.
How you feeling, A.J.? He's saying he's feeling all right. Gotta love it when the fighters kneel down and talk to us. Feel honored to call these fights. Feel honored to see these amazing athletes that lay it all on the line. This is Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. I am Pablo Alcina alongside Blake Bulletproof Troop, and we'll be back with a lot more. Very happy A.J. Hodgkins. We still have plenty more on this Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Hodgkins celebrating early. We still haven't heard the official decision, but I liked what I saw from the former Oregon Duck, A.J. Hodgkins. We've seen him fight in Lights Out Extreme Fighting before. We saw him again. Ooh, he keeps getting better, Blake.
Man, I had said it once and I will say it again. This kid has all the potential to be a future Lights Out Extreme Fighting professional middleweight champion. Mark my words, Pablo.
He has the style. He also has the personality. You know he can sell it with a microphone. Bright, bright future for A.J. Hodgkins. Let's go to Tyson Johnson and the official decision.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, let's give a big round of applause to both of these gladiators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, judges score the bout as such. Judges number 1 and 2 score the bout 30-27, while judge number 3 scored the bout 30-26 for your winner. By unanimous decision, out of the red corner, A.J. Hodgkins.
AJ with the victory, unanimous decision, no doubt about it. Had the takedowns, he dominated control. He received 1 Superman punch, but besides that, it was all AJ. Let's go to Bonnie.
AJ, going into that 3rd round, what was the game plan? I almost looked like a football tackle up there in the corner.
Yeah, you know, the game plan was this, man. I'm coming out here, I'm all day J, man. All day J, MMA. I don't get tired. The game plan was simple, man. Just put it on him the whole way through the fight, and that's exactly what we came out here and did. Shout out to that guy, man. He showed up. He was game. I could see it in his eyes yesterday at the weigh-ins. Super game opponent. Pushed me. He knocked me down a couple times, and I just improvised, man. I'm a high-level athlete, man. They say I'm an influencer because I got a bunch of followers on Instagram, but the reality is, man, I'm a high-level athlete. I do what it takes to win, and we came out here, got the job done today, man. All day J, MMA. Let's get it.
Talk about not getting tired, and former linebacker, University of Oregon, linebacker like Shawn Marman. What is your training regimen?
Man, I don't know if I'm like Shawn, man. Shawn's behind me, kind of like double my size, but no, man, the training regimen is simple, man. Just show up to the gym, do all the right stuff, stay disciplined, stay focused. And, you know, it paid off tonight, man. You know, like I got an all-day gas tank. Like I said, man, they think I'm an Instagram influencer. They think I just go on Instagram and talk about it, but at the end of the day, man, I live it. And that's why I love coming out here in front of everybody and showing myself. But again, man, you know, thanks to Shawne for the opportunity, Lights Out for the opportunity, and no doubt you guys will see me back. I'll be making my pro debut here, and man, shout out to Lights Out for giving me the platform.
Congratulations, another good one.
Yeah, hey, one more thing, man. Marcus Nash, you're next. You're next. Quit running. I'm not the one running. You're the one running. Let's get it. Let's get after it. Freaking Marcus Nash. Marcus Nash, you're next. Let's get it.
Marcus, you hear that? He's calling you out.
Let's go.
Back to you guys.
All right, there was a bunch of things I loved about that interview. My favorite part of that interview is, AJ, you said it, your pro debut has to be on Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Don't change it up on us, because I want the pro debut to be right here and us to be calling that fight.
Yeah, this kid has continued to show improvement appearance after appearance. I can only imagine what he's going to look like in his pro debut, and I wonder how many fights after his pro debut it's going to be before we see him fighting for the Lights Out Extreme Fighting professional middleweight belt.
I wanted to grab him because he would have sat and spoke with us. He's an awesome guy, just the personality, his style, his physique. Let's go to the highlights again and point out why we both know he's going to be such a big star.
Yeah, so this was some of the agility we saw him come in with. This is a big, jacked professional athlete. Here's my favorite moment of the fight. He took a Superman punch and immediately turned his aggression around and took over the fight from there. Oh, here we go. We got A.J. Hodgkins coming over and sitting down with us. Gonna walk us through some of the replays right here.
Drop this down.
Yeah.
So AJ, talk us over these highlights, baby.
I'm here, man. You guys see it, man. Shout out to all the guys I've been wrestling with, man. We wrestle all day J MMA. The guy dropped me a little bit. His striking was there, and I struck with him a little bit, and we started taking him down, man. I felt him starting to break on the ground, and we're gonna go back to it, man. He started to break on the ground. We're gonna take it to where we can win the fight, you know. So
AJ, how hurt were you when you got that Superman
I was not
punch?
hurt at all. He kind of shut, he kind of like
he shocked me. I dropped, and I looked to wrestle, and but I wasn't hurt at all, man. I wasn't rocked or anything like that. I'm not just saying that, man. It was a clean punch. He shut my lights off for a second, grabbed the leg, wrestled, man. It's wrestling practice every single Saturday at 10 Planet, man. Shout out to PJ. Shout out to all the high-level guys that I wrestle with every day. I know I can come out here and wrestle with anyone, and that's what we did tonight, you know.
Hey, AJ, love having you here. So your pro debut is going to be on Lights Out?
Lights Out, man. Texas in July. Make sure you guys check me out, man. All Day J MMA on Instagram. They think I'm an influencer. I don't know. What do you think, Bulletproof?
Hit him with the guns, AJ. Hit him with the guns.
Call this dude out one more time.
Where's
Who are you trying to fight, AJ?
Quick break.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Lance Martinez.
Lance Martinez coming out.
Back to Tyson.
And now, please welcome to the cage, Michael Burke.
And here comes the champion, Michael Burke, who had a fantastic fight and I believe it was LXF 13. I don't remember if that was to win the belt or defend the belt, but every time Michael Burke has come out, he has entertained the Lights Out Xtreme Fighting crowd. And very stoic coming out. I'm really impressed by...
Different. He changed his walk-in. He's usually not as stoic. Last time he came in a little bit more energy. Now with the belt, he's kind of changing it a bit. I like that. I'm not gonna, you know, each fight its own entrance.
It's almost like Battle of the Quiet Kids tonight. Both of them came out very low energy, quiet, but both of these dudes can bang, which is one of the things that I love so much about the lack of emotion. This should be a scrap right here.
And even though it's an amateur belt, having a belt around your waist, hey, you don't want that removed. So Burke wants to defend it up until he goes pro.
Yeah, this kid right here is a killer. I've actually talked to his dad, Michael Burke, a lot on Instagram. Shout out, Mr. Burke. This kid is a killer, and I cannot wait for this fight to start, Pablo. I'm already getting goosebumps.
I'm liking the last fight we had, and AJ Hodgkins' energy with us was awesome. Seeing Cain Velasquez in the building, it was awesome. I'm telling you, special energy here today. And let's look at the tail of the tape for this bantamweight amateur title fight. 20 years for Michael Burke, 24 for Lance Martinez.
Yeah, so a slight height differential and a slight age differential. The biggest difference I see is the record. 5 fights for Michael Burke, 12 fights for Lance Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be 3-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is being brought to you by Family First Life. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is for the Lights Out Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He represents Saxon's Muay Thai with a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins and 6 defeats. He hails from Anchorage, Alaska. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger, Lance Martinez. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed at 135 pounds. He represents Swanson's MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 1 defeat. He hails from Coachella Valley, California. He is the Lights Out Amateur Bantamweight Champion of the World, Michael Burke. Your referee in charge of the action is Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran.
All right, John, been over the rules already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. At the sound of the bell, come on out and handle your business. Let's go.
Mike Beltran saying to handle your business. One of the best referees in the game inside the cage. Famous mustache, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran has the best facial hair in mixed martial arts. I don't care what anybody says.
And he speaks perfect Spanish also, like you.
Here we go, this fight though. I am excited for this fight. Just ring the bell already.
Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14, bantamweight amateur title. And the fight's underway. Michael Burke in the black trunks.
So
Lance Martinez in white.
Lance Martinez doing a good job of trying to utilize long-range attacks, trying to hit that leg kick. We see a significant reach advantage from Michael Burke. Not only that, but Michael Burke really seems like a lot of his height advantage comes from those long legs that he has.
Michael Burke has so much confidence in his boxing skills that you'll see he'll drop both his arms down to the side. And it's not because he's tired, it's just because he feels his reflexes are perfectly fine with his hands that low. It kind of worries me, though.
So, good job there by Lance Martinez, continuing to fight that. He's spending a lot of energy lifting Burke up, not necessarily getting a great slam. Something worth noting, you can see that Lance Martinez has wrapped up both of Michael Burke's legs that are trapped between his legs that are closed. This is something that can really trap you in this position, and a guy can slowly climb up your body and trap you in a mount position or there against the cage for repetitive ground and pound shots.
Burke slipping his feet out of there. Trying
Great
to stand
job.
up. Good job by Burke.
Yeah, escaping his feet and immediately fighting back up so that he can get back on his feet. I'd like to see him now try and circle out and get his hips off of the cage. He needs to just jam his head into that head pressure and fight back and get his body to the other side so he can escape through that opening on the far side.
Great strategy by Martinez, keeping the chest to chest to Burke. Burke wants to fight at distance. Burke wants to use his length and his legs and his arms and his boxing. Lance Martinez, no, the complete opposite.
Pablo, you're exactly right. Lance Martinez is really nullifying.
Oh! And that's what Michael Burke will do to you. If you step back, he will crush you with that left. And he sent him down with the right. But Martinez back on his feet.
Man, the heart out of both these guys. It looked like Lance was starting to get the better of it. But he needs to be careful with the guillotine choke here. Oh. Big slam right in the middle of the cage, which gives Lance Martinez a ton of space to work.
And everybody on their feet now. We know the strategy for Martinez. Chest to chest. We know what Burke wants to do. He wants to strike. We've seen both sides of it in this first round.
Yeah, we saw a punch drop Lance Martinez, and within 10 seconds, we saw Martinez pick Burke up, walk him to the middle of the cage, and plant him on his back. What a back-and-forth first round this has been, Pablo. This is why I was so excited.
We are pumped, and we're still haven't reached our pro fights yet. I told you, call your friends, something to put on Lights Out Xtreme Fighting on Fubo, and what a show we're seeing.
Martinez doing a great job kind of grinding this top position, but he's not able to land any powerful strikes here. Once he walks in like this, I'd like to see him posture his head up and then start throwing down bigger shots just like that.
Good front kicks by Michael Burke to get out of that danger zone. But here comes Martinez again.
Yeah, those up kicks from the bottom position are extremely dangerous. That is a game that Lance Martinez needs to be careful playing with. Let's see if he's able to pass the guard and end of the first round. What a great fight. I give a slight edge to Lance Martinez for ending on top, that big slam, and then controlling the pace from there.
Now, Burke had a moment when he had the flurry and when he sent them down with the punches also. But I agree with you, Martinez. I think the slam and how it ended, but that was a clean punch.
A right hook caught Martinez, and immediately Martinez hits his back and then starts hunting for submissions from the bottom. Eventually gets on top and has this big slam in the middle of the ring that kept him on top for the remainder of the round.
So you're a pro MMA fighter, 14 pro fights. Tell the people how the mat is when you get thrown down like that.
So people think that it's like extremely padded, but you're talking about maybe 2 inches of padding on there on top of wood. It's not designed to absorb an impact. It's not like a professional wrestling ring, which is designed to come crashing down on. It does not feel good getting slammed inside of this cage.
A word from Blake Bulletproof Troop, who's done more slamming than being slammed.
Both these guys ready to come out for round 2. Lance Martinez very focused. I'd like to see Michael Burke utilize his reach a little bit better and his footwork to control the range. I don't think he should charge forward at all against Lance Martinez. I think he should make Lance Martinez pay the toll to come to him. And what I mean by pay the toll is eat a few strikes on the way in.
Oh, spinning kick by Martinez. I'd like to see more frontal kicks from Michael Burke.
I agree 100%. That's probably his longest range weapon, and I think he's doing himself a disservice by not using it. That's a great point, Pablo.
Oh, Martinez with another spin for the photo, but swing and a miss.
Yeah, but Martinez looks very relaxed in there, like he's flowing and throwing a variety of different stuff from a variety of different angles. And comfort, in my opinion, is one of the best things you can feel when inside of the cage.
See how Burke never brings up his fist in a guard position. He also drops them to his side.
You know, but I also think he's trying to bait guys in to throw attacks. He does a great job of moving and having head movement. He's utilizing too much head movement there, and Martinez just drops down and sucks those hips in. Taking Michael Burke for another round.
And
Bam.
that time he turned sideways, and he got all the body weight on top of Michael Burke's ribs. Beautiful slam.
Yeah, that was a very big slam, and he might even be able to crawl himself to a more dominant position. Michael Burke here has the underhook with his right arm. By underhook, I mean it's under the armpit. That's allowing Michael Burke to continue to fight up to his feet.
Lance Martinez with 12 amateur fights.
Lance Martinez stepping over. May have an armbar or even a triangle from this position.
Good
Beautiful Michael Burke, yes. Awesome transition, and now he's the one on top, threatening a fight-finishing position on Lance Martinez.
Listen to this crowd. Electric now for Michael Burke. The champ doesn't want to give up his belt. They're both swinging left and right. Again, Martinez responding. Jabs from Burke that barely miss. Strong right.
What a scrap. Lance Martinez there almost put in a bad position and just gets up throwing bombs with bad intentions.
Oh!
Man.
I want to see these two face off in their pro debuts as well.
Yeah, these dudes are gunslinging inside of the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage here. Nice back fist.
Oh, and another spin. Martinez responding. Anything you can do, I can do better. Now looking for another takedown.
See, we're seeing Burke do a much better job here of managing the range. They were far enough away that Lance was not able to get the takedown because Burke had enough time to counter. Now we see Lance Martinez hitting it all, but he's got a anaconda choke. Oh, he gives it up. But great job by Michael Burke continuing to fight and not get stuck on the bottom position. I'd like to see him continue to pepper his opponent here. I don't think he'll get a finish, but I think he has done enough to win the second round.
Oh, and a big hammer blow by Michael Burke. And Michael Burke doing enough to win the second round.
Was that it? No, stop. That was the bell.
That was the bell.
Mike Beltran did not wave the fight off.
No, I think we have it 1-1 going into 3.
100% 1-1 in my book. And man, this fight has been everything that I hoped it had been, Pablo. Fireworks, fireworks, fireworks. Let's take a look at some of the replays. And here is that big slam by Lance Martinez. Ouch! Planted Michael Burke.
Beautiful job of turning his head. His head avoided the mat, just all the weight on top of Burke. Now here comes a big hammer fist right in front of Blake and I, and it was Burke doing enough in our books to have this tied 1-1.
Yeah, man, what an incredible scrap this has been, and it's still anybody's fight. Both guys are damaged. Both guys are damaged. Both guys are a little bit tired, but both guys are showing all the heart in the world.
Matchmaker right there.
Thank
his inner
him
shots.
for these fantastic
setting
fights.
up these matches. What a fight. This atmosphere is amazing. We're on the side where you don't see the fans. It's a sold-out house here. Let's go to round 3 for the bantamweight amateur title.
And I believe this is the third and final round here, and a touch of gloves by both competitors.
Oh, there's no overtime in MMA. I'd like to see round 4, but this is going to end after 3.
You know, I would almost be surprised if this went the distance. The way these two dudes are banging on each other and going for broke, I could see either guy potentially getting a knockout here in these last 3 minutes.
This deserves like a Rocky 1 where they both fall down. Martinez with a high kick. A nice straight jab from Burke. Martinez responding. That right connected.
Back and forth, big shots. Head kick by Martinez. Drops, right cross that drops his opponent by Burke. Back and forth, non-stop action. But we see Burke now wrapping up the left arm for a double wrist lock, a.k.a. Kimura. Let's see if he's able to get Martinez's wrist behind his back, and he bails on the double wrist lock. We have 2 minutes left here in this final round for the bantamweight Lights Out Extreme Fighting amateur title, and Martinez is slowly breaking Burke down. Oh, Burke again looking for that double wrist lock. If he's able to dig that arm out.
Ooh. Now who's adding points here? Martinez has top position, but he's not really delivering any blows.
You know,
what a hard round to judge so far.
I mean, both guys had a single big strike that hurt their opponent, but Martinez has stayed on top and has been earning control time. Michael Burke, I think he's doing the right thing now.
Martinez has the back.
Fighting to his feet. The thing is, he's a little bit high on Burke. If Burke elevates both his feet, kind of tripods up, he can potentially shake Martinez off and then be the one in top position with a minute left on the clock. He cannot just sit here and wait. Oh, he is flattened back out, and it looks like Martinez might have both hooks in. I can't see the position of the hands, but it looks like he's trying to finish that rear naked choke. Burke doesn't look concerned. We see the thumbs up.
Yeah, but the time's running out on Burke, and Martinez is doing enough to win this round.
I 100% agree that he's doing enough to win this round. All he has to do is stay on top. Burke, in my opinion, needs to go for broke to escape this bottom position because he has 47 seconds left to convince the judges that he won this round, because I have it 1-1 going into the third. And whoever wins this last round, in my opinion, wins the fight, and it's going to come down to who has the heart.
Oh, Martinez, it's going to come down to who has the position. And Martinez has now top position, complete control of the entire round. I don't know how you don't give this round to Martinez. And then the question is, did Burke do enough the other 2 rounds, or we're going to have a new champion?
You know, it's always tough to say with the champ as well, because in my opinion, you kind of got to take the round from the champ. And I don't know if he did necessarily enough to take a round for the 3rd one, but bro, it has been back and forth, Pablo. What an incredible fight.
And that's the end of the fight, and Martinez gets a sad kick right to the face. What? But look at the atmosphere in this place. I mean, it's a party. Not the last round we wanted to see. I think Burke might have ran out of gas, and those takedowns might have been a little too much. In my book, I see it for Martinez. But quick break, and we'll be back with the official decision. Martinez, Burke for the bantamweight amateur lights out title.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for both of these gladiators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, all 3 judges scored the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. And still, the lights out bantamweight amateur champion of the world, Michael Burke.
You know, Pablo, I'm not entirely mad at that decision, because that 3rd round, I really feel like you need to take it from the champ. Had this not been a title fight, I think Lance Martinez may have won that fight, but this is twice in a row Michael Burke has come out and won and defended his belt. Let's take it to Bonnie Joe inside the cage.
Michael, we meet again. Now, after those 2 big slams, how are you to bounce back like that?
Those are nothing. People I train with do that to me all day. I've been through that for a whole month now. This is light work. I already know I'm in a good spot.
How much did the crowd help you? Because the crowd got hot. You were able to really get energized from this crowd.
Yeah, man, fuck this crowd. How about that? Woo, baby!
I saw you talking to the fans over there. What were you saying to them? 3 more rounds? What were you saying?
I said 3 more rounds. 6, 12, I don't give a fuck how many rounds. I'm gonna go all day.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. I just want to give a shout out to my girlfriend and my mom. I can't do this without you guys. Shout out Swanson MMA, baby. Let's get it. 2 wins tonight, baby. Got hands.
Pablo, back to you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Well, you got to take the title from the champ, and Michael Burke keeps the title belt. We saw some good highlights. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more in round 3. But what a good amateur fight. And we are now joined by the one and only Shawn Marman, the founder, the owner of Lights Out, and the best boss to have, because I can guarantee you my boss can beat up your boss. What is up, Shawn?
What if
we're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with Shawn Marman. This is Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14. Quick break, and Shawn Marman joins us next. We are live on Fubo. This is Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14, and we are joined by Shawn Marman, the founder of Lights Out. What a night already. AJ Hodgkins delivering. The amateur title fight was awesome, but you have something special in these fights. Talk to us about the gloves.
Yeah, the gloves. Lights Out Xtreme Fight. We partnered with the shot tracker technology, and it was one of the things that for me, I've been around this sport for a long time, and I wanted to see the sport progress. So we have the chips in the glove that can measure speed, power, punch, impact, G-force. And, as you guys can, you probably can't see it at home watching, but we have 5 cameras, motion caption cameras, that we'll be able to see these kicks, the enhanced metrics as you see on the screen there, punch dynamics, stamina, work rate. You're going to be able to tell these guys if they can keep up that work rate for all 3 rounds and going over, they're dying down. The fans soon at home. We want this data to be instant, interactive. Bring our fans closer. If you can't make it to here in one of our fights, I mean, the energy's in here crazy, but those of you guys that are watching at home, we want to give you as much information as possible. This is groundbreaking, and we just look to progress, advance the sport of combat sports.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to quantify the different components of what goes on here. Like, for example, you're saying strike speed, the amount of impact, where now we can have a quantifiable thing to measure some of this with instead of just seeing it and be like, oh, maybe 7 out of 10, which is an awesome advancement for our relatively young sport of mixed martial arts.
No doubt about that. And truth, you had enough fights that you would know to take this information. It's no different than when I was at home watching film, and I go back and watch a film, and hey, I could do this better. I could do this. My input or output is getting a little lesser in the second and third round. The more information you have, you go home, take that as film study. Those guys watching at home knowing that maybe a 20 or 30 G-force or power strike can knock a guy out, right? We want to get as much information as possible, and this is just the tip of the iceberg for what's coming for Lights Out Xtreme Fight.
The judges see any of these data or no? Are the judges going to be able to see those data, quantify that, maybe judge a fight differently from that?
Yeah, so we want to see how much information we can get from this fight alone. There's 2 things working here. They got the chip that's in the gloves and also the motion caption cameras that can measure pressure, the speed of the kick, power punches. So we want to time those up. Also, you're going to be able to see after this fight when we have the punches that landed, where on the mat the guy got hit. If his back was against the cage, if he's in the center of the cage, where is he taking most punishment, most damage at? And so I think this is important, man. I mean, this sport is great, and we look to take care of the next steps and keep advancing Lights Out Extreme Fight.
He's Shawn Marman. We have a lot more coming up. We have 2 main events. The main event I can't wait for. Tommy Aaron trying to be a 2-time champ in 2 weight classes. How did that happen?
Tommy Aaron, man, is he's going to throw down. I'm going to tell you this, and you guys didn't see it at home, but it got pretty hectic yesterday at the weigh-ins. I mean, It was one of the things I don't have to step in too many times, but it got hectic. I would say the last 3 or 4 fights of this fight tonight is going to be our most explosive fights we've ever had in the history of the company.
Can't wait. Let's go to Tyson Johnson, our cage announcer. Keep this action going. This is Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Shawne Marman.
Shawne making his second walk out to the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage. This kid is a very seasoned Muay Thai practitioner, including professional kickboxing bouts in Glory Kickboxing, which is the premier kickboxing organization in the United States.
His pro debut was with Lights Out Extreme Fighting 12 as a mixed martial artist. He had also had a couple pro fights as a Muay Thai fighter, but he lost to Brandon Art. Now he makes his return to Lights Out Extreme Fighting. And these are bulletproof troops. Bullet points for victory. Take it away, troop.
So Shawne wants to avoid the takedown, so he needs to keep as much space between himself and KO as he can. He does this by holding his ground or moving slightly backwards or angling out during Kali's advancements. Shawne has great kicks, but throwing kicks at a wrestler increases a fighter's vulnerability for being taken down. So he needs to rely on his hands to do most of the work when he's on his feet. Kill will undoubtedly shoot for the takedown. When he does, Shawne needs to have those killer Muay Thai knees ready so he can turn KO's lights out.
Shawne, some also a great nickname, the Prince of Cambodia.
Yeah, and he had a very tough matchup in his debut against Brandon Art, who we will see later on here in the evening at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Babacar Kill.
Babacar Kill from Afghanistan. His last fight was in December 2022. No fights in 2023.
You know, no fights, but he has been training at Black House MMA, which is my home gym, and it is full of absolute killers, including Tommy Aaron in our main event and Albert Morales in our co-main event. This kid is a seasoned grappler and knows what he is doing on the ground. In my opinion, Kale's best chances of winning this fight is on the ground. In order to get the fight there, Kale needs to close the distance with his opponent by constantly advancing towards him, using feints, punches, and head movement to create openings and to avoid damage while advancing. As Shawne retreats or angles out from the pressure, instead of following him, Kale needs to herd his opponent towards the cage wall until he's able to secure a standing clinch. Once this clinch is established, Kale needs to grind Shawne on the cage walls until he's able to secure a takedown. Once on the ground, Kale should use his top pressure and the cage wall to trap Shawne in a position where he can finish the fight with ground and pound.
This one a flyweight fight, 125 pounds.
Let's go! Let's go!
And like I said, training out of Black House headquarters, so he is extremely prepared for this matchup, has had an abundance of guys preparing for tonight in competition. I'm excited to see this kid get in here and display his grappling prowess. This is the classic striker versus grappler.
Are you still training out of Black House?
You know, I have been in Florida, but I will get some training in whenever I am in town, but definitely not enough.
This one should be another fun one. This one, the first pro fight of the night. So far, you've seen amateur fights. The A.J. Hodgkins, Ian Russell. The Anthony Whitfield, Luke Duran was also fun.
I was just thinking, man, we haven't even had a professional fight yet. There's been some really exciting scraps that have gone down. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
29 years for Sovin Kasasam, older. Just 21 for Babacar. You see their records. This is just the second pro fight for Sam, the third for Babacar Kill. Let's go to Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout will be 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. This bout is being brought to you by and streaming live on Fubo Sports. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 128 pounds. He represents Team Body Shop with a mixed martial arts record of 0 wins and 1 defeat. He hails from Long Beach, California. Please welcome Sovin Kasasam. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. He weighed in at 126 pounds. He represents Black House MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 1 win and 1 defeat. He hails from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Babacar Kill. Your referee for this professional bout is Jonathan Romero.
Romero, referee for this one. You're gonna have another decision, Blake, or this flyweight fight?
No, I don't. I honestly don't think this is going to leave the first round. I think we are going to see someone get submitted or someone get knocked out. Like I said, this is the traditional striker versus grappler.
Touching hands, Sam in the black trunks.
So Sam already holding his ground, backing up or angling out, which is exactly what I think he needs to do if he wants to avoid this takedown. Any forward advancement will put him in a precarious position and make a takedown much easier for Kyle.
And Kill coming strong, a strong high kick from Sam that doesn't connect. Babacar Kill ducked it easy. Ooh, nice punching by Sam.
Beautiful straight punches. I'd like to see him continue to do that. Disengage here. There's no sense in getting caught in a spot like this. Straight punches and follow those with low kicks or high kicks and then disengage. He's got to angle himself off here.
Yeah, this one might not last long the way these two are throwing leather.
Yeah, we're only 30, 40 seconds into this first round.
And these are 5 minutes, no longer amateurs. The amateurs were 3-minute rounds. This is a 5-minute, 3 5-minute rounds.
Whoa, nice elbow followed by the low kick. I'd like to see even more emphasis on the use of hands by Sovin Kasasam.
Yeah, he's also a kickboxer, and we didn't see him kick much in his pro debut, which he lost, so good to see Sam kicking more in this one.
Yeah, you can see Sam definitely getting a lot more comfortable now, trying to find his angles, cutting out, and looking for big shots where he just threw a head kick that was blocked, but you don't really block a head kick. You just absorb it on something better than your head. Sovin Kasasam is doing a great job of not standing and exchanging, continually disengaging and keeping space between himself and his opponent.
And here's Babacar looking for the takedown. Grabs an ankle and he gets it.
And he has 3.5 minutes to work here from this top position. Sovin Kasasam trying to throw up a triangle, but now settling for closed guard, which is exactly what Babacar Kill would like to have happen. But brutal elbows from the bottom.
Quickly, those elbows can gash you. Babacar responding with a hard punch.
And particularly elbows by a Muay Thai practitioner on the bottom who knows exactly how to throw and exactly where to land that elbow upon impact. Babacar utilizing now the cage wall. Ooh. Whoa, fingers in the cage. If he does that again, I believe the referee should take a point. He got a warning there, and he absolutely should have. I am not sure he would have been able to fight up from that bottom position had he not reached into the cage like that.
He definitely pulled himself up using the cage. It was a no-no. He got the stern warning.
I'm surprised that we did not see a little bit more offense out of Babacar once he was on top of Shawn Marman. Shawn Marman, again, doing a great job of angling out and keeping distance between himself and his opponent. Whoa, triangle. Babacar's trying to get the pass. Both guys struggling for position here. Babacar being smart there, stapling the leg down and securing top so that Shawn Marman accepts the bottom. And with 2 minutes to work here, I think Babacar could even just sit down and land a handful of strikes. He doesn't need to stand up and blast something crazy big. And continually utilizing the wall pressure to keep Shawn Marman down. Whoa, almost full mount, back to full mount. Shawn Marman on top, another scramble, wow.
That was fun. Sam back on his feet. He does not want to be on his back. He wants to be striking. Now they're both on their feet.
Yeah, that was a great job of Sam creating a scramble to get back to his feet. He put himself in several dangerous positions of getting caught in mount or back mount, but he made it work and came out on top. I'd like to see him start really utilizing those straight punches. He's letting Babacar get incredibly close to him, and that's why these takedowns are now so effective.
A nice combination from Babacar, not missing by much. Sam needs to respond.
Shawn needs to get his back off the cage. He's just standing there and creating exchanges now. He needs to circle out and continue to make Babacar follow him around the ring and try and make, whoa!
Strong right. Didn't miss by much. That one connects. Sam feeling his feet a little bit better.
Yeah, moving forward, some of the better strikes he's landed thus far, but moving forward towards a grappler is very dangerous because you're bringing your hips that much closer to your opponent, and a takedown is all about controlling your opponent's hips.
A body blow connected for Babacar.
Yeah, we have 40 seconds left in this opening round, and man, it has been back and forth. Whoa!
A little jump over by Sam.
You know, I said Shawn Marman, one of his keys to victory was having those killer Muay Thai knees ready. It was ready. Babacar was just out in a different place when he decided to throw it. But that's exactly what I think Shawn Marman should be looking for. Keeping a long-range distance, being able to see that shot coming from range, and blasting his opponent with a knee on his way in.
Perfect straight from Babacar that connects. And if there was any doubt,
this is going to be it. I think we're going to see a finish here in the first round by Babacar kill. Whoa, and Shawn Marman survives.
But I don't know if he wants any more of Babacar, because Babacar wants to finish this as soon as the bell rings again.
Yeah, Babacar definitely wanted that finish there, wasn't able to secure it, but he has got to be feeling good about going into this second round. Several times he got Shawn Marman down, but that time he really came close to the finish. Let's take a look at some of these replays.
Boom.
Yeah, some banging against the wall, and then Babacar coming down, ending the round on top in this three-quarter mount position and just throwing down bombs, raining shot after shot. And it's Shawn Marman, who's almost intelligently defending himself, but right on the edge of potentially being stopped. That could have gone 10 more seconds, and we might have had a finish here in our first professional fight of Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14.
Referee was looking closely, and Sam was defending himself smartly, so I think it was the correct decision to let the bell ring.
I agree 100%. The referees have been doing a fantastic job here tonight.
Round two.
I don't know if it's just me, but Shawn Marman looks a little bit angry at his opponent now. I'd like to see him utilize some of that anger and throw some heavy hands at his opponent here in the second round.
Well, the opponent did not want to shake hands. Sam didn't get it. I'd like to see more kicks from Sam.
Yeah, low kicks are pumping his straight punches out, even if he's not trying to throw something crazy hard. Just keeping something in Babacar's face. I think Shawn Marman is really trying to load up, waiting for knees on a takedown. Ooh. Babacar doing a great job, though, of leading with hands. That way he's able to hide his takedowns later once he decides to drop.
Yeah, there was Sam trying to time a takedown attempt by Babacar. Babacar wasn't having it. Flying knee for nothing for Sam.
Yeah, he's swinging for the fences with things like that, but I'd like to see him start bunting and getting himself on base with some straight punches. Not something huge that's going to knock his opponent out, but chipping away, beating his opponent up so that he's eventually able to find some bigger strikes to land.
And since he does have longer arms, maybe use some dirty boxing tactics, like throw the punch, but then finish it up with an elbow. Like use those long limbs. We saw his quick elbows earlier. I'd like to see Sam try more.
I think it's a great idea because he is a Muay Thai Whoa!
Yeah.
Looping punch. I couldn't tell if he just got knocked off balance or if he actually did some damage. But Babacar is throwing some heavy leather at Soman Casasoma right now. And they're right there in front of the Black House corner. And the coaches are going crazy telling Babacar to get in there and start throwing.
The commission telling Babacar's coaches they can't bang on the table.
Again, another home run swing by Soman Casasoma. I'd like to see him start doing some smaller stuff to set that up, particularly establishing his jab and straight punches that much more often. If he hides...
Oh!
Man, Babacar catches the kick and Soman Casasoma goes down, but almost lands a big up kick from the bottom position, and those can be devastating, Pablo.
Still 3 minutes to go on this one. Sam kind of taking a breather there.
Yeah, this is not the place where Sam wants to be. He needs to start trying to get himself to his feet just like that. Fantastic job of kicking his opponent, pushing him away, and then exploding to his feet before his opponent's able to get back at him.
Ooh! I mean, Babacar's throwing some vicious punches. Even if they don't connect, they seem to rock Sam.
Yeah, Sam's almost standing in front waiting for exchanges to happen. I'd like to see him go back to what he was doing at the beginning of the first round, where he's backing up and getting his opponent to come to him and then landing shots. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, Pablo.
Not much stinging so far from Soman Casasoma.
No, but he is starting to float around the ring much better. And I think that's going to be the first key to avoiding these takedowns and these exchanges. Once he starts doing more of that, I think he'll start finding his openings for his strikes, just like he's starting to do now. He needs to continue to keep this distance so it is the fight he wants to fight and not Babacar pressuring him against the cage.
Those are the front kicks I was asking for from Sam, but too little. And Babacar's closing that distance.
I expect to see maybe some of the cases start throwing some more head kicks again here.
And Babacar, you see, he's starting to get frustrated. Can't catch Sam.
Oh!
There we go, more kicks.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see him starting to throw these heavy kicks, especially now that we're past the halfway point of the fight. Holding your arms up for this long gets exhausting, particularly with the amount of power and amount of punches that we've seen Babacar throw. And now repeatedly, we've seen 3 head kicks within 10 seconds thrown by Soman Casasoma.
Yeah, Sam's getting a little bit more energy in him.
I'd like to maybe see him bring that kick down from the head and start looking for his opponent's liver. His opponent's doing a great job of keeping his hands high so that impact gets absorbed on his forearm.
Oh, Babacar, another overhand right that connects.
Yeah, Babacar's almost like a Terminator. This dude just keeps coming forward.
Yeah, and Sam, the few times he's connected, hasn't caused any damage at all for Babacar. I feel like Sam needs something to go his way to get pumped up a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think, that
nice
looked like a 12-6. Oh, these are brutal elbows that can absolutely open a cut up. Soman Case gets taken down and fights his way to the top, or fights his way back to his feet. Whoa, he is leaking. Look at all that blood running down Babacar Cayo's back from that elbow strike that Soman Case had just landed on the top of his head. And that might have been the strike he needed, like you said, Pablo.
To believe in himself, yeah, and I think we see Sam growing here.
Absolutely, he sees that blood running down his head as well, and he knows how hard he hit that dude. And now we see that Babacar Cayo can be hurt, and Soman Case sees it, feels it, and he's starting to fight a little bit more like it.
And talk about when you start losing that much blood as a fighter, do you feel it, Blake?
You know, it's hard to say how much blood he's losing or how much we can feel at the moment. I don't know anything that's going on outside the cage when I'm in there, so it's really hard to say. But he is definitely losing a tremendous amount of blood now that we're able to kind of see how much it's running down on the front and back. Let's take a look at some of these highlights.
Oh, there's the elbow.
There's the first one. It's this second one that really opened his opponent up right here. Bunk. That was the one. Or
totally legal?
Oh, yeah. So if he was standing and it went from heaven to hell, 12-6 if a clock was on the wall, that's illegal. But if you're flat on your back and throw the exact same strike, now it's legal, which is a weird rule in mixed martial arts that I'm not entirely sure why they do it. But regardless, that was a big strike to the top of Babacar's head, and we absolutely saw some life out of Soman Case following that elbow. Let's see what he wants to do here coming into round 3. In my opinion, this is the most refreshed and ready to win Soman Case that we've seen since the first 2 minutes of this bout.
Yeah, and this is now just his second pro fight, but this is just his 4th round. This first fight only went 1 round, and now this was reaching the 3rd, so we're seeing that confidence in Sam, but let's see what Babacar has in response. Round 3 between Kill and Sam.
So we've seen Sam switch stances a little bit. Now the left leg's forward. It was back earlier in the matchup where he was throwing that head kick. Now we see him has switched again. Now it's mirrored stance. I believe we're going to see him throw a left head kick right around now. Oh, and Babacar comes blitzing back in after throwing that kick.
Sam's been doing great moving side to side. Babacar hasn't caught him clean since round 1.
Yeah, this is the movement that I said he needs to do. You see how when he gets towards the cage, he circles around. But because if he gets caught like this, he continue to circle, circle, circle. Never let your back actually touch the cage, because that is where Babacar has been landing the best exchanges and securing the majority of his takedowns.
Do you think Sovinkesa did enough to win round 2?
I don't know. It's tough, man. I don't know. This is why I sit at the commentary table and not the judging table. I'm a big fan of damage, and I think the real damage that we have seen thus far in the fight has been landed on Kyle by Sovinkesa. But then again, control time. There are a lot of different factors at play with judging here in mixed martial arts.
Those low kicks were working for Sam early. Haven't seen much. Now it's Babacar with those low kicks.
Yeah, we're going to see more head kicks out of Sovinkesa right now. You can see him in this, what we call the open stance, where he's looking, he's feinting the kick, because Babacar knows it's coming, knows it's coming, knows it's coming. Sovinkesa, a very high-level kickboxer. That's why we see him feint his hips in and out like this, teasing his opponent so his opponent doesn't know when a big power shot is coming. And we call these feints in mixed martial arts competition because you're kind of pretending to attack your opponent, and it gives you a moment to learn about your opponent's defenses and reactions. But Sovinkesa doesn't have a whole lot of time left to play. He has 3 minutes, and I think that he's probably down 2-0 thus far in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the way it looks like he thinks he won round 2. Oh! But Babacar wants to finish it here.
And Sovinkesa, let's see if Sovinkesa accepts bottom position or if he starts unloading with elbows and wall walking. He continued to keep his guard closed and is now trapped on the bottom with his head trapped up against the cage by a very high-level submission grappler in Babacar Kill. I'd like to see him start to pressure in a little bit, his hips in, posture up, and land some bigger strikes down, just like he began to do. And Sovinkesa immediately fights to his feet.
Two minutes to go in this one. I have Babacar winning the first 2 rounds. But
I agree 100% with that.
The way Sam's bouncing around, looks like he feels like he might have won round 2. Looking to do just enough in this one.
I think he's definitely trying to look for that home run swing to get the knockout, particularly with that left head kick. And I think if he's going to get the knockout, it will be with that left head kick. He needs to stop allowing himself to get trapped up against the cage here. He needs to circle out just like this and try and utilize his footwork to set that head kick up instead of just posting up here against the cage.
Nice combo, Babacar. Controlling again, always going forward. Oh, strong kicks from Babacar.
Yeah, we have a minute left in this matchup, Pablo.
Those kicks to the knee, those can be such a pester.
Those are brutal. I almost think that that's too dangerous of a strike for mixed martial arts, but until they make it illegal, you might as well use it. And Sovinkesa has been putting it to work here in the 3rd round.
And soccer, it's a red card. Here it's still legal. I don't know why more people don't do it, because it feels like one bad plant and there goes the knee.
Yeah, did you ever see the fight where Khalil Roundtree like stomped the guy's knee in like that? Oh, it was brutal. Oh, did you hear that kick?
That one's going to be felt tomorrow, but maybe too little, too late. Final 20 seconds in this one.
And the crowd is going wild here at Thunder Studios in the closing seconds of this fight.
Babacar throwing everything he's got left. Crowd on their feet again, wanting a big finish.
Yeah, what a great fight between two competitors here, Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
They finish hugging, Babacar and Sam, 3 rounds. We're going to a decision. Everybody at Thunder Studios having a great time. Break, and we'll be back with more.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for both of these gladiators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, judge number 1 scores the bout 30-27, while judges number 2 and 3 score the bout 29-28 for your winner. By unanimous decision, out of the red corner, Babacar Kill.
Getting a kiss from his corner, Babacar Kill, happy with the victory. Now 3-1 as a pro. Southern Casa Sam, like the fight we saw from Sam, better than his debut. Left it all out there, but Babacar just did more. I think the judges definitely got that one right. We still have 5 more pro fights to go. Still have 5 more pro fights to go. This was an entertaining one. Flyweights are always fun. Break down these highlights for me, Blake.
Yeah, so we had the classic striker versus grappler, Shawne incredible professional Muay Thai fighter, against Babacar Kill, who is a great submission grappler. We saw a lot of striking on the Shawne trying to get Babacar back, but Babacar's wrestling was too much and ended up landing top position with a bunch of ground and pound throughout the fight, earning himself a unanimous decision. But Shawne continued to throw up strike after strike, and he actually really bloodied Babacar with an elbow in the second round.
Vicious elbow, lots of blood in the back of Babacar's head. Good victory for him. We still have a lot more, 5 more pro fights. The main event at 170 pounds for the welterweight lights out world title. The lightweight champion, Tommy Aaron, now trying to become welterweight champion also. Ooh, that fight's gonna be a good one.
He's got twin boys, and now he wants twin championship belts to take home from Lights Out Extreme Fighting. And if anybody can become champ here at Lights Out, I think Tommy Aaron is the man to do it.
And we also have the Belizean Warrior. But up next, it's Oliveira taking on Gilliam. Lights Out Xtreme Fighting.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Raheem Gulliam.
Raheem Gilliam, 27 years old. Last fight, September 2023. He lost via triangle choke.
And calls himself the Jamaican Samurai, born in Jamaica and bringing his island fighting style out here to the mainland. So Raheem needs to be patient with his offense during this fight in order to avoid being taken down. Instead of charging at his opponent, I'd like to see him hold the center of the cage and pump out his jab. Gilliam's jab is one of his best strikes, and he needs to stay behind that jab and use it as the foundation of his offense. Once his jab has earned Cona's respect, Gilliam can start to hide bigger strikes behind it, particularly his powerful head kick, which, if it lands, could turn to Kona Oliveira's lights out.
Gotta admit, I'm jealous of the hairdo. I'm jealous of anyone with hair, actually. His looks style.
It's exotic. It gives me pineapple vibes. Tell me it doesn't kind of give you pineapple vibes.
Nice. Well, Marilyn Monroe said blondes have more fun. So let's see if Gilliam has fun in there. Kona Oliveira is his opponent. Oliveira fought at Bellator 221 and at Bellator 224. Now he's fighting inside the Lights Out Xtreme Fighting cage.
Yeah, this dude has some heavy hands.
This fight welterweight, 170 pounds.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Kona Oliveira.
Kona Oliveira, I have trained extensively with this kid at Walkouts. Remember his amateur career, and now here he is on his professional career. This guy is also a professional surfer and an incredible athlete with a lot of people behind him that really believe in him. I was actually on his pro debut card where he had a first-round knockout. I'm excited to see him get back inside of the cage and let his hands go. Kona is very well-rounded and a technical fighter. In order to maximize his chances of winning, he needs to learn about his opponent's reactions using feints, then pick and choose when to engage based on what he learns during the feints. Once finished with attacking, Kona needs to disengage or end his engagement with a takedown attempt. The takedown will eventually present itself, so Kona needs to be patient as he creates that opening. Once on top of Gilliam, patient pressure and strategic advancement will place Kona in a fight-ending position where I believe he will put Gilliam away with ground and pound.
Those were Bulletproof Troops. Bullet points to victory. Kona with that hat that said Brazilian Samurai. Like that.
So Brazilian Samurai is actually his coach right there to the left, Juan Gomez. Juan has been training a bunch of guys and also works extensively with Albert Morales, who we will see in our co-main event of the evening.
Let's go to the tail of the tape between Oliveira and Gilliam. 1 inch taller Kona Oliveira.
You know, the only difference is there's one more fight in Kona's record, but it's only a tiny bit of experience. This is a very fairly matched bout that we're about to have right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. This bout is being brought to you by iHeartRadio. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 178 pounds. He represents Victory MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 1 win and 2 defeats. He hails from San Diego, California. Please welcome Raheem Gilliam. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner stands 6 feet, 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 175 pounds. He represents Black House MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 1 win and 3 defeats. He hails from the state of Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kona Oliveira. Your referee for this professional bout is Milan Ayers.
Oliveira taking on Gilliam. 5 fights left on Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14. We are live on Fubo.
So one thing that I love about the Hawaiian people is fighting is part of their culture. I fought a Hawaiian in Hawaii once, and it was one of the most hot crowds and toughest fights of my career. These Hawaiians have coconuts for heads, and they are incredibly hard to knock out.
Oliveira in the white trunks. Raheem Gilliam in the black trunks.
Kona doing a great job of kind of pumping his jab out there, not necessarily throwing for big power shots, but trying to figure out how his opponent's going to react.
We see the length in the arms of Raheem Gilliam.
Yeah,
Kona's listed as taller, but to me, the eye test has Gilliam looking longer.
You know, I don't think height always plays the biggest thing, because sometimes guys are taller because they have long legs or longer arms. But Kona gets the takedown. I'd like to see him be patient here, be meticulous, and start to cook his opponent from this top position using forearm, grinding his elbow across the face, and so forth. He's in no rush here to advance position or do anything reckless.
Right in front of us, elbows running down. Kona Oliveira controlling, and now hard punches
he might
to Raheem
get this
Gilliam.
finish right here. Kona Oliveira taking home his second professional win.
That did not take long at all. The Hawaiian said, I came to fight, and I came to finish this in under a minute.
What a scrap. Kona Oliveira coming out, taking home his second win with maybe a minute on the clock. Wow, what a fantastic performance by the Hawaiian here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14.
Did not even break a sweat, but he broke his opponent, and Gilliam was game to fight. Did you see the blow? What was it?
You know, he looked like he got him down, made him accept bottom position, and then just started raining down shots. Gilliam realized he was trapped and covered up, waiting for the referee to step in and stop the fight.
Well, let's go to the highlights, or we can actually call it the whole fight because it took less than 40 seconds, but this is the ending. Hard punches right there, got him right in the eye, and then Gilliam is just receiving blow after blow, and it seemed like he did not want to be there.
And a great job of Kona there, changing his target. You saw him throwing the straight punches in. Once Gilliam started defending, you see straight, straight, straight. Then he switches to the hammer fist right around here because his opponent starts blocking, bang. And these hammer fists were the ones that did the damage to stop the fight, or the final shot to get the fight stopped. There was damage already. See, straight punch, straight punch, straight punch. He's blocking those fairly well. Kona switches to that opening in the window and gets the finish.
Gilliam now has ice on his knee. We haven't seen him take a step. He was complaining that his leg might have gotten hurt also. Hope he's all right.
You know, Kona definitely had double underhooks and got a body lock takedown that brought them there. He may have stepped awkwardly and tweaked his knee a little bit. And you can see Kona Oliveira's dad dancing behind him in the black shirt. That's his pops, and you can tell his pops is incredibly proud of his boy right now.
His pops looks 25 also. Pop looking straight dancing. The Brazilian flag in one side.
56 seconds into round number 1. Your winner by way of TKO, Kona Oliveira.
Kona Oliveira, that did not take long. 46 seconds, I believe, was the official time.
Something like that. Flawless victory for Kona Oliveira.
Bonnie Jill with the interview.
Kona, was it the plan to finish him early?
I think that's always the plan. I mean, whatever presented itself, we were going to take it when it came, and we got the win early, and can't come stoked, man. It's been so long to get I got one of these, so just to start the year fresh again and be back in the win column, man. Thank all my friends and family that came out, everyone in Hawaii. Couldn't have done it without you guys. It's been a good night.
Let's talk about you're from Hawaii, that warrior spirit. Did that get you through this?
Always, you know, every time I step in here. I was born and raised in Hawaii, but I'm Brazilian blood, and that's all we know, you know. We like to scrap, we like to get it down, and that's what I came to do, and that's where you'll see more of me. Mark my words, by this time next year, that lights out belt will be mine at 170.
To get that win in front of your dad right here, what can you say about your father being here in your corner?
You know, we've always had a difference in me and him a bit, you know, kind of flashing heads, so it's actually the first time he was in my corner, and I think he's going to stay in it, because everything changed, you know what I mean? So I love this man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, man above, and all my coaches, Juan, Brazilian Samurai, Elon over at Walkouts for opening the doors, Shawne at Lights Out for getting me here, and my opponent for showing up, man. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Cody. You deserve it. Pablo, back to you.
Thank you, Bonnie. And you can't tell, but Blake and I, we got goosebumps right now with that father comment. He said, well, my father and I, we didn't always hit it off, but now he's in my corner. He's going to stay there. Love that, baby.
I'll be honest, I had some fuzzies going on. That was a very heartfelt moment from Kona Oliveira after a fantastic first round finish here in Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
And we saw the dad's eyes glossy also, just a beautiful moment. And yes, I hope to see the dad in the corner for all his fights. And Kona, we hope to see you fighting for that Lights Out title in the future. Quick break, we'll be back with more. Orange versus Mehula is next. Fubo has over 200 channels of live TV, sports, and news for half the cost of cable. To celebrate Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14, Fubo is offering a special discount for Lights Out fans. Visit FuboTV.com/LXF. That's FuboTV.com/LXF to start your free trial.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Kaleo Mahula.
The stream from Kaleo Mahula.
Bringing out another Hawaiian. Like we said, Hawaiians have that fighting spirit within their culture. And here comes another Hawaiian, expressionless. And in my opinion, that means he is ready to scrap, Pablo. The thing about Kaleo, he needs to look for a finish on the ground. Kaleo's fighting a much bigger, a much longer opponent than Brandon Art in order to take away Art's reach advantage. Kaleo needs to get inside of Art's long limbs. Once inside, Kaleo needs to attach himself to Art and fight relentlessly for the takedown. When on top, Kaleo needs to get a dominant fight-ending position and look for the kill.
His last fight, not since 2022, so more than a year since Kaleo got inside a cage. Looks to be in great shape. Kaleo Mahula. We'll thank everybody that's watching us live on Fubo. Make sure to reach out. Follow us on social media at Pablo Alcina on Instagram and Twitter, or X, whatever it's called. Blake Bulletproof Troop alongside. Thank everybody watching us on Fubo. A moment for Kaleo.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Brandon Arndt.
Brandon Arndt, we saw him in Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 11. He won with a first-round knockout, and he came back for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 12. He won with a first-round knockout, beating Sullivan Kessa Sam. So 2 fights inside the cage, neither lasted more than 1 round. And Brandon Arndt was impressive in both.
Yeah, and Arndt is coming out with that Badger Drew flag covered in their opponent's blood. I am a huge fan of those boys. And man, he is extremely tall for this weight class. I can't believe he can make 135 pounds. Brandon Arndt has a massive reach advantage over everyone in his weight class. In order to maintain this advantage, he needs to keep the fight out on its feet at distance. He does this by using footwork to control the range while throwing straight attacks down the pipe at his opponent, then consciously disengaging to ensure distance between him and his opponent. If he can utilize these strategic points, then I believe that we may see him get another first-round finish here at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 14.
There's a catch-weight fight at 140 pounds. Still, 6'1" Brandon Arndt making 140 is impressive. And if we see him at the weight, he doesn't look dehydrated at all when he makes the weight. It's impressive for his size. Quality ink work on the arms, too. Brandon Arndt. The numbers for this fight. 28 years old. For Kaleo, 2 years younger is Brandt. 1 more pro victory for Brandon.
But that 4-inch height differential, that's the big one we see. And we don't have the measurements on leg reach, but the leg reach that Brandon Arndt has over Kaleo is massive.
Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Lights Out bout will be 3 5-minute rounds in a catch-weight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 142 pounds. He represents Extreme Couture, ladies and gentlemen, with a mixed martial arts record of 1 win and 2 defeats. He hails from Las Vegas, Nevada. Please welcome Kaleo Mahula. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner says 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 139 pounds. He represents the Den with a mixed martial arts record of 2 wins and 1 defeat. He hails from Fullerton, California. Please welcome Brandon Arndt. Your referee for this professional bout is Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran setting the stage. And the fight's underway. Kaleo, the Brazilian in the white trunks. Brandon Arndt, the black trunks, fighting out of the red corner.
Great jab by Arndt, just trying to pick some of those shots. He has such long limbs. I believe that jab and straight punches and kicks are... Whoa!
Kaleo clocked him! This might not last long! Kaleo with elbows raining
He's surviving, he's attacking. May even have an arm bar here, but he is definitely hurt. But there's no quitting Arndt. He's continuing to fight back to his feet. Great job by Brandon Arndt, but he needs to get his hands up and maybe even shoot for a takedown to buy himself some time.
Beltran trying to stop it.
And beautiful job by Beltran, letting that continue for just a little bit longer.
He's got it close pretty good, Blake.
It's hard. I can't see how well these hands are tied up here. Look like he got under the neck nicely. But this is time for Arndt to recover just a little bit.
Brand got hit by a thunderstorm called Kaleo Mehula from Hawaii.
He did a great job of surviving. It looks like he's gotten some wind back in his sails thus far in the first round. He was in a very bad spot initially.
Great hard by Brandon Arndt. Again, we told him 2 fights here. Both didn't last more than 1 round.
Whoa.
Look at this fight.
And that's the thing about these Badger crew boys. They come to scrap.
Oh, Kaleo clocked him with a straight and then an elbow responding. Blood out of the nose of Brandon Arndt.
Yeah, that first shot really damaged Arndt. He has been struggling to get back on offense. He's landed a little bit, but now he has some time to recover while he's being ground against cage by Kaleo. I'd like to see him kind of accept this, catch his breath a little bit, get his feet back under him, and then in about 10 seconds, really start exploding off the cage and trying to create separation.
Kaleo had lost his last 3 fights, and it looked like he wanted to change that in a hurry. Loving the hard shown by Brandon Arndt. Still 3 minutes to go in this first round. Oh.
It makes me wonder if Kaleo burned himself out a little bit throwing those big shots really early in the matchup.
And also
his output is significantly decreased, and he's almost hanging on like he's the more tired fighter.
Oh, but he's still connecting on Brandon.
Great body shot.
Oh, another left. Body.
Arndt's
left in the face.
Arndt's doing a good job of trying to get himself off the cage so he's not just absorbing damage. But he has got to start mounting some offense just like this, even if it's some jabs and crosses. Something.
Ooh, those body shots are hurting.
There's the takedown that might start changing the pace up a little bit, but is Arndt going to be able to finish it? And he does.
What heart, what determination. Now, Kaleo, he has to control himself. He had this fight won. Lots of times you burn that final gas thinking you want to finish it. When they don't stop the fight, you tend to get tired. So Kaleo needs to conserve some energy in these 2 minutes.
And not just tired, but almost like defeated a little bit. Man, I just blasted this guy and almost knocked him out. What can I do to put him away if that didn't do it?
You know, lots of times you're looking over at the referee, but you can't do that. You got to finish your fight.
That was a lesson that I learned when I fought against a guy named Moses Mariette. I looked at Frank Trink once or twice at the end of the round, hoping he'd stop it when I should have just paid attention to my opponent and unloaded. But Arndt, wow, I am so impressed with his ability to fight back through adversity and get back on his feet and now implementing some offense. He's bloodied up and battered, but man, the heart that it takes, and you can't teach that, Pablo.
And Brandon's bouncing around well, got his feet under him again. He ate some punches and some vicious elbows from Kaleo.
Yeah, he's definitely back though. I'd like to see him continue to use that footwork and those straight punches. He's so long that if he's able to keep this fight long, he's a lot safer and he's at the advantage because of those extremely long limbs that he has.
And that knee connected with the body.
Yeah, those don't look big, but those are brutal knees when you're leaning against the guy and he's able, whoa, rips the elbow across the top.
Yeah, both implementing that dirty boxing. I'm loving it from both sides, liking the jabs from Bren. Want to see more jabs from him.
Yeah, Art's starting to really do a good job of landing and moving. Straight punches that not stop.
Oh! Khalil!
That might be it.
Why? Baby, it's over.
Wow. Like Pablo said, bye-bye, baby. What an incredible knockout finish for Khalil Malua here in his Lights Out Extreme Fighting debut at LXF 14. That kid has got to be proud of himself right now.
Oh, yeah, that was a clean one to finish it. Brandon gave his all. What a scrap. Brandon Art will be back fighting again in Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Today, I think Khalil caught him early, and he always had him on the ropes. And when Brandon thought he finally got it back, here came that devastating overhand right again.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the highlights. I'd love to see that knockout punch. Yeah, I think this might be it. One of the things about being a tall fighter is when you can throw an overhand right that comes over the shoulder. I actually think this was the first time he went down. Or is this the finish? It might be the finish. Both the punches looked so, I think it was the beginning. But it was the exact same overhand right, just over the shoulder, Brandon Art.
Yeah,
that did the most damage.
Yeah.
I think this is it. Over the top of the right hand, boom, that was it. The knockout. Overhand right, just over the shoulder. Brandon Art puts him down for the count.
Yeah, great job by Mike Beltran, the referee. I mean, he gave him all the chance to bounce back the first time, the second time, now the third time. These already heavy blows. Great job by the referee. Good stoppage. Liked what I saw from Khalil Mehula after 3 losses. This might spark up his career again. Brandon Art will definitely bounce back. What a fun fight. Let's go to Tyson Johnson and the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 minutes, 34 seconds, into round number 1, your winner by way of knockout, Khalil Mehula.
Bonnie with the interview with our winner.
Khalil, first of all, take us through that knockout.
First and foremost, I can't speak about anything but giving glory and praises to my Father and Savior. I was just doing it. I can't really explain to you. Holy Spirit took over me, do my thing. God blessed me with the skill, and I can't give credit to nobody but Jesus Christ.
Now, you heard him early. Were you surprised that he was able to bounce back and you stay composed through that?
Yeah, man, the dude's a banger. Like, his jab is, I really had to time it. That's why I put my guard up a little bit, so I could feed it, and time over the jab. But like I said, I couldn't do this without Jesus.
How much do you owe to your corner as well?
Oh, I do everything. This is my brother Brian, my coach Ron. I love these guys so much. They came out with me from Vegas. We drove here, we persevered. Man, I was broke, financially unstable, but God made a way, so it's all good.
Congratulations, what a fight. We'll see you again. Pablo, back to you.
Thank you, Bonnie. I like Khalil giving all credit to Jesus Christ. It's what motivates him. It's what makes him a better person. I have to applaud that.
I agree. And one thing I'll also say is, wow, the tremendous heart displayed by Brandon Art there several times, was dropped in a very bad position, never stopped fighting. Impressed with him, and extremely impressed with the newcomer, Khalil Mehula.
Yeah, all the fights in Lights Out Extreme Fighting, it's not only the fighters, it's their personalities, it's their hearts, and all of them inside that cage, they leave it all there for the Lights Out Extreme Fighting brand, for Shawn Marman, and for what we're building here. And we're just getting started. 3 more fights to go, and you do not want to miss the main event. This is Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. Bernal versus Vasquez is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Armando Vasquez.
Armando Vasquez fighting out of the blue corner.
Yeah, Armando Vasquez, this kid has some hands. And he may not fight the prettiest, but that dude can knock someone's block off. I'd like to see him not waste any time and let his hands start flying early in the matchup. The uglier and scrappier the fight, the more things will favor Vasquez. So he needs to come out throwing bombs and continue to do so until his opponent goes, lights out. Serious look on his face, too. He looks like he's ready to go knock someone's block off.
And I was talking to Shawn Marman just now, and he told me this fight, I had to break them up during weigh-ins. These two do not like each other. He's like, watch the crowd for this fight. It's going to be a good one. So now I'm kind of excited.
I love it when there's that pre-existing tension before these guys get in the cage.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Eddie Bernal.
And a lot of noise in the house here at Thunder Studios for Eddie Bernal Jr.
They're all on their feet. Hundreds of fans turning out for Eddie Bernal Jr.
Yeah, the people here are excited for this scrap, and this is the classic.
Oh, listen to the chants of Eddie.
Wow, I can't even hear ourselves thinking over this crowd. Man, this is the classic striker versus grappler matchup. So Bernal, the grappler, needs to stay outside of range and patiently wait for Vasquez to come charging in. When this occurs, Bernal needs to change levels and secure a takedown. Once on top of his opponent, Bernal needs to unleash vicious ground and pound until the referee pulls him off of Vasquez, or Vasquez goes, lights out.
Lots of fans in the stands, lots of cheering for Eddie. But what's going to happen once they lock that cage?
Yeah, and he almost sold half of the front row seats. You can see everybody in the front row, VIP area, second row just beyond the cage, or beyond the railings. Everybody is on their feet in here, and they are ready to watch Eddie do some damage. And the Lights Out Extreme Fighting fans obviously having a night to remember here at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. Shout out to Shawn Marman. Shout out to Antonio Jimenez, our matchmaker, for putting together this incredible card.
Let's go to the numbers for Bernal taking on Vasquez. 2 inches taller for Bernal. This fight, featherweight fight, 145 pounds, 9 years older is Armando Vasquez. Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Lights Out fight will be 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 144 pounds. He represents Mendo Training Center with a mixed martial arts record of 2 wins and 2 defeats. He hails from Lakeport, California. Please welcome Armando Vasquez. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 145 pounds. He represents H Jiu-Jitsu with a mixed martial arts record of 1 win and 1 defeat. He hails from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Eddie Bernal. You're referee for this professional bout will be Jonathan Romero.
I don't remember more fans for any fighter than what we're seeing here for Bernal.
That's just because you haven't seen me fight, Pablo.
Oh,
I
that's
bring
true.
the whole town. But wow, he does have a massive crowd here who is high energy and believes in him. Oh, I can't wait for this feature fight, LXF 14, to get started.
Eddie Bernal, Armando Vasquez. They had words at weigh-in. Let's see if they're going to touch gloves.
Yeah, Shawn said these dudes had to be separated at weigh-ins, and it almost went down yesterday up on the scales. But now, finally, they're in the ring and ready to let leather fly in the professional way.
Now, Vasquez knows the fans are for Bernal. He hears the chance of
Whoa!
Eddie, and he got close.
Whoa!
Bye! Bye! Oh, no, it's over.
Wow! Eddie Bernal turns his opponent's lights out, and Vasquez doesn't know what's going on.
Vasquez still wants to
looking for
fight.
his opponent. Wow.
The fans did not see much.
Wow.
But they just saw the lights go out.
And Vasquez finally realizes what just happened. No idea that he was just knocked unconscious, popped up, and almost fought the referee. Wow. Eddie Bernal Jr. Wow.
And look at the gash he opened up on Vasquez.
Man, what a fantastic knockout, and it only took 2 punches. Let's look at these highlights right here.
Don't roll highlights, roll the whole fight.
Yeah, so that left hook started it, and that right hand closed it off.
Great work by the referee to stomp in. There was no need for him to receive another punch.
And not just stomp it, but put his body on the line to save the fighter who's there hurt. Fantastic job by the referees tonight here at Out Xtreme Fighting 14.
Yeah, amazing job. Great job also by Bernal, knowing he had to fight one to not deliver another crushing blow. But wow, talk about a perfect fight for Bernal. 2 punches, and it's over.
Yeah, flawless victory. You can even see him touching his face over there, and you take a look at Vasquez, who only ate 2 punches, Pablo. Did you see what his face looked like after 2 punches by Eddie Bernal Jr.? Man. And there was so much more I wanted to talk about with this kid.
I know.
He has an amateur win over Brandon Arden, who we just saw in the last fight.
Let's see if we can bring him here. I'm going to grab him since we have some time. But yeah, keep talking about him, Blake.
But man, this kid, 5-0 amateur record. This kid is an absolute stud, high school wrestler. And like I said, he's a grappler, but came out and knocked out the striker with ease. Flawless victory for Eddie Bernal Jr. Wow.
Now, lots of times a fighter, you know, they're cold right in the start. But man, Bernal caught him with that 1 punch, and it was all she wrote. The second one, he was already going down. He was already out, but they were 2 clean punches.
You know, I think that second punch was needed. I think that potentially he would have been stopped. But if I were Eddie Bernal Jr., I would have landed that one too. I think that he did a fantastic job of coming in, damaging his opponent, and then even trying to kind of follow up, slowing down, and the referee being able to jump back in. I got to put over the referees tonight. They have been doing a fantastic job of jumping into the action and stopping fights at the appropriate time. And here comes the Eddie Bernal chance.
Yeah, I mean, the fans only saw 30 seconds. But it was like, remember Mike Tyson back in the day? The fights didn't last long, but you loved every second of it. That's how these fans feel after that. Let's go to Tyson Johnson, the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 19 seconds into round number 1, your winner by way of knockout, Eddie Bernal.
Ace Jiu-Jitsu, man. Ace Jiu-Jitsu. Team Bernal all day.
Eddie, 2 punches, and that was it. Did you know you expect something like that?
I mean, everybody out here, they only see 2 punches, but they don't see all the hard work that goes into it, you know. And you know, it was a long time. My last fight was in this very cage, you know, in this very spot, and you know, it was my first loss it was a tough loss, and so that was just in my head the whole time. I knew how to get back in here, so you know, and I thank everybody so much for coming up and
your fans. You had the whole place electric. How did that help you get through this fight in that short time?
They're the best. I mean, my dad, he does, it wouldn't be anything without my dad here. He sells all the tickets, and it wouldn't be like this without him. So I got a big thanks to my dad and my whole team, Tim Cartmel, Ace Jiu-Jitsu, but everybody here. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all these people, my mom over there, so my cousin Omar holding pads for me whenever. So I made a lot of changes this camp, and I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that helped me out, because I'm nothing without my family and all the people that come out here and support me all the time. So it's not me, it's all them. It's all these people in here. I put on a show for them. So.
What are the adjustments you did make in this fight?
I'm sorry?
What are the adjustments that you made?
I mean, the plan was to take him down, because I just got my brown belt from Tim Cartmel over there. I wanted to show everybody why I got it, you know? But I did a lot of adjustments in my boxing, a big help from Coach Mitch over here. So it was just staying behind the jab and just being tight with my punches, and you know, I got him with a good, clean little hook, and it's funny, I feel like I'm really good on the pads, but then I go spar, I kind of pull my punches back a little bit, so I have to remind myself, it's like I don't have to pull them back in here, so that's what happens when I don't pull them back, so.
Congratulations, Eddie, phenomenal knockout. Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, Bonnie. He was happy. The Bernal family are like 500 strong here selling tickets. The fight didn't last long, Blake, so let's roll it again. Let's see it regular speed. We want to see this fight again. Again, Blake, talk
here
us
we
through
go.
it.
Opening bell, ding, ding, and we see Eddie Bernal come in with his step-in left hook right after this jab. Bump right here on the chin. I threw a few more punches than I realized. But this, I think, is the one right here. Steps in, left hook, wobbles him. He's almost out on his feet, follows up with that heavy, straight right hand, and puts his opponent down, who here doesn't even realize he's been knocked out, while Eddie Bernal's on the cage celebrating. The referee's pleading with him, hey, man, the fight's done. And this guy's like, well, what are you talking about? What an incredible highlight reel finish for Eddie Bernal Jr. I bet Mr. Bernal Sr. couldn't be more ecstatic right now after that performance.
Did you see Pops on the ground flexing? I love Pops. I love that right there. It was a clean left hook, caught him right, and then crushed straight. Finished it. Great work by the referee to stop it. You saw Vasquez. He got up. He thought there was somebody there. The fight had to be stopped. Beautiful. When will we see this guy again in this cage?
I don't know, but
good.
I am stoked with how many people we've seen go lights out tonight. And we still have a co-main event with Albert the Belizean Warrior Morales coming up and Tommy Aaron fight for the champ. Pablo, we got some bangers coming up.
Break, and we'll be back with more. You know you're loving life with Blake Bulletproof Truth and your boy Pablo Alcina.
gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Imran Tarakea.
It is co-main event time here at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
There's a belt on the line. There's a belt on the line. What is this title? The official bantamweight title, which is open right now. It's going to be decided between Albert Morales and Imran Tarakea.
Yeah, man, and Imran Tarakea has 4 first-round finishes, including 2 knockouts in the first 30 seconds of his fights. If he comes out guns blazing, then he may be able to catch Albert Morales before Albert's able to find his groove. Imran's hands are incredibly fast, and they both possess knockout power. However, in order to land those power shots on Albert, he needs to start his combinations with speed, land something, and then follow up with the heavier shots. Once Imran's hands have Albert's full attention, Imran needs to use his hands to hide his takedowns and utilize his top game to try and punish Albert Morales. Yeah, 4 first-round finishes out of 10 fights.
Oh, this co-main event's gonna be awesome. The Belizean warrior, Albert Morales, his 7th fight in the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage. Wins in Lights Out Extreme Fighting 12, wins in Lights Out Extreme Fighting 11.
And Albert Morales actually won the bantamweight professional belt at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 4 when he defeated Ryan Lilly. He then lost that belt to Victor Henry, who signed with the UFC, thus vacating the belt, which is why we do not have a 135-pound champion. But Pablo, in the next 15 minutes, we will.
And then we still have another title fight in our main event. But this co-main is gonna be awesome. We are live on Fubo.
So one thing about Imran Tarakea, he trains out of Game Barrett Training Center with Herman Tirado. Herman Tirado is, I believe, a 3rd-degree black belt under the legendary Barrett Yoshida. He's competed in PFL, World Series of Fighting, Bellator, among a variety of other big promotions from around the world. So he has fantastic coaching and somebody who can help him get to the top.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Albert Morales.
The Belizean warrior always has tons of fans. Vocal, loud fans.
Yeah, that is his sister right there who was losing her mind. And here we see Albert the Belizean warrior, fan favorite here in Southern California, making the walk down to the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage, trying to regain his former bantamweight Lights Out Extreme Fighting belt. Man, Albert has, the Belizean warrior Morales has showed us improved leg kicks in his last 2 outings here in Lights Out. I'd like to see him double down on the usage of those kicks in this fight, whether he's hiding them behind a jab at range or closing combinations and exchanges with them. Blasting Imran's legs will pay dividends if the fight goes to the later rounds. Sooner or later, I expect Imran to come crashing in. When he does, Albert needs to utilize those sneaky Muay Thai elbows to punish Imran. Lastly, if Imran is able to get deep enough on a takedown attempt, Albert needs to hunt for the submission while fighting the takedown. He has incredible wrestling. He trained with Kenny Johnson, Bolt Wrestling, Dan Gable, Hall of Fame. So he has some of the best grappling you can have, representing Black House MMA and Team Carlson Gracie. Brown belt under Team Carlson Gracie. This dude is a killer, and like I mentioned, former bantamweight champion here at Lights Out Extreme Fighting. And you can see other coach, Jason Park, Dr. Jason Park, putting Vaseline on Albert's face. Jason Park is one of Anderson Silva's coaches. That gives you an idea of the level of Muay Thai knowledge that is now being blessed upon Albert. And I expect us to see that inside of the cage here this evening in our co-main event at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
And I love Morales getting a shot at the bantamweight title. Again, the former champion deserves the crack at it, and he gets it here in probably our best card yet, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14.
Yeah, man, the tail of the tape, the only big things that jump out at me, 32 years old versus 25. 7-year age difference. I'm not sure will play a role, but also experience. 23 fights for Albert, 12 for Emron. Almost double the experience in Albert Morales' favor, including UFC matchups.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is the co-main event of the evening. This bout will be 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is being brought to you by Fubo Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be for the vacant Lights Out Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 134 pounds. He represents Gamebred MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 10 wins and 2 defeats. He hails from San Diego, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emron Tarakil. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 133 pounds. He represents Black House MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 14 wins and 9 defeats. He hails from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Albert Morales. Your referee for this championship bout will be Milan Ayers.
Bantamweight title is on the line. Lights out, Extreme Fighting.
All right, guys, we're going over the
champion.
rules. Protect yourselves at all times. Follow my directions at all times. If you want to touch them up, do it now. All right, come out swinging.
So these two dudes also had an intense face-off yesterday and kind of had to be separated by Shawne. We saw some of that intensity just now when they touched gloves in the middle of the ring.
The crowd is electric. The co-main event about to get underway. The Lights Out Bantamweight World title on the line. Morales, Tarakil, and the fight's underway. The Belizean warrior Morales fighting out of the red corner with an arm sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, slowly pressuring ahead, and we see Emron fighting for that takedown, immediately shooting from a distance. Here's where I'd like to see Albert utilizing some of those elbows from the inside, or potentially trying to hunt for the submission on his opponent. One thing about this early in the matchup, people are not sweaty yet.
Up, and down. And Emron Tarakil gets the takedown.
And Albert's doing the right thing by stuffing the head down and then fighting back up. Emron expended a lot of energy to bring Albert over there to his corner. Did not do a ton of damage on the slam, and he's spending a ton of energy here trying to dig Albert out. You can see Albert just chilling on top, conserving energy, and letting Emron really try and burn himself out, chasing a takedown that's not going to land with that hand on his head. So Emron was doing the right thing by switching his head to sides, but if he keeps it here, he's just going to be getting his head jammed down. He needs to bring his head to the other side, just like he did here. Now suck the hips out. As he's starting to do here, his head on the other side. Albert is just doing a fantastic job of that head pressure, head pressure, head pressure.
Morales saving that energy, breathing. You see how calm he is. 7th fight inside the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage. This is his second home for Albert Morales.
I'm surprised we have not seen Emron bail on this takedown, throw some strikes, and then maybe go back to it. But he's spending so much energy here trying to drag Albert around, and he's, in my opinion, starting to waste it by chasing this takedown for too long.
Now, of course, you're still gaining points from the judges, but how much energy are you wasting? You're not really delivering any hard blows on Morales.
And not just that, but how much confidence do you now have in your takedowns, your offense? He had Albert in the air and was not able to secure a takedown or really get that dominant of a position on Albert. 0 damage.
0 damage and wasted a lot of fuel.
See, this is where, again, I'd like to see if Albert starts getting to his feet, trying to hunt for his submission or landing some elbows from the inside. But as long as he stays on that head, he's going to be folding Emron in half, which is exactly what he should be doing. There's not even necessarily, in my opinion, any urgency for him to get out of this position. Emron's burning a lot of gas, folded down in half. He can't breathe well there, expending energy, and Albert's chilling. And Albert has 3 5-minute rounds of gas all day, every day.
Now they're back on their feet. Morales has yet to deliver a blow, but Imran hasn't done much either.
Yeah, just a lot of control, but again, energy expenditure. And that, even just that, he didn't get Albert up, but you're trying to deadlift hundreds of pounds, and dynamically, it's a lot of energy to expend.
It's for the bantamweight title.
I don't think there has to be a ton of urgency out of Albert thus far in the first round to get out of here. One of the other things probably keeping them in this position, it's so early in the matchup that neither guy's really sweaty yet. When you're not as sweaty, there's more friction, and it's easier to retain grappling positions or submission holds. Here's where I want to see Albert go for a submission or land this elbow from the inside. I expect to see him jam this head down. When Imran brings his head up, landing a slicing right elbow across Imran's face. Imran almost looks lost here with his head jammed down.
There are the elbows to the ear.
Nice, escapes his leg. You see how he is on Imran's head, just folding him in half. And Imran almost looks lost at what he's supposed to do from here. And this is Kenny Johnson's Bolt Wrestling in action. Ooh, he does not like those elbows.
And he's eating those elbows, 2 to the ear and 2 more to the cheek.
So the thing about grapplers is they typically don't like being hit. You know, these aren't devastating blows, but you can't just sit there and take those. Imran looks like he is breaking and might be quitting. Albert Morales possibly taking home the bantamweight title. Here it lights out. There it is. And the finish. Wow.
Oh, I think he was saying he was hurt from before. I think those elbows.
Maybe he thought they were 12 to 7. Whatever he's thinking it wasn't. There was nothing illegal that I saw there just now. Albert Morales just came in, shut his wrestling down, began to punish him, and in my opinion, Imran Khalil just quit inside of the cage, and now he's trying to find an excuse or blame it on somebody else instead of just saying, man, I lost.
Yeah, it looked like he was saying like the blows were illegal, but Blake, talk us through it. Was there anything illegal that you saw?
So it looked to me like the elbow strikes had a rounding arc to it. It wasn't straight up and down. And when I say straight up and down, imagine if you had a quarter in your hand and you dropped it and it went straight down. That is an illegal 12 to 6 elbow. I don't believe that's what Albert was throwing in here at the end, but I know we're going to see a highlight finish where it's going to show exactly what happened.
Yeah, he's saying that he was elbowed straight on the back.
So let's take a look at some of these highlights. So
there he's already talking to the referee.
But I agree with Mylan Ayers, allowing him to continue to eat shots. What are you complaining for? I disagree with him. I want to see the elbows. So here are the elbows in question, in my opinion. Round, arc, 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 arc. Nothing's coming straight down as if you were to drop it. All of those have an arc on it, a circular pattern. It's not straight up and down. These all look like very legal elbows to me. And it's a variety of different spots on his back. I don't know what he's complaining about.
Yeah, none of it is on his vertebrae. They're coming from the side.
And again, still arc.
Oh, well, that one was mighty straight.
And I think he might be complaining about it being on his spine is why he's kind of saying something. That one did look, but then again, he was throwing, it was the heat of a bunch of strikes being thrown, and I'm not sure that necessarily qualifies as a 12 to 6 elbow. I'm not the expert. Mylan Ayers is, and he had the best seat in the house.
Yeah, let's go to Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 minutes, 24 seconds into round number 1, your winner by way of TKO and new lights out bantamweight champion of the world, Albert Morales.
The Belizean Warrior gets the belt. Shawn Merriman still hasn't figured out how to put
Albert, congratulations. So he took you to the ground early, and you were staying so composed and patient. How were you able to do that?
Kenny Bolt Wrestling, baby. Black House MMA all day.
What can you say about your corner?
About my corner. We got the best corner in the game, man. Blackouts, the OGs of MMA. Hey, shout out to my opponent. He was able to implement his game plan, but like you said, I had to stay composed, go based on my technique that I've been working for years, and luckily I found the finish.
On your Instagram, you mentioned the Mamba mentality. Did you keep that Mamba mentality throughout that?
Definitely, man. I was, listening to Relentless, a book that his personal trainer wrote, and I've been through everything. I've been in this game for a minute, so staying calm through experience and through practice will get me through anything.
You got the belt, you're walking out. What does that mean to you?
It means everything, man. I grind every day for this, you know what I mean? It's just a step in the right direction. I'm gonna defend this thing as many times as I gotta defend it to get to the big show and represent Lights Out on the big screen.
Congratulations, Albert, well deserved.
Thank you.
Pablo, back to you.
The Belizean Warrior, 7 times he fought inside the cage, and he now once again has the bantamweight Lights Out belt. Well deserved. We did not see anything illegal on the blows. I don't know if that was the complaint. They looked like you were saying. They did. Explain it now that you're on camera. That straight 12.
So a 12-6 elbow straight up and down like this, as if you were to drop a quarter and it were to go down. I believe that all of that had an arcing motion to it, where it was swinging just out like this instead of straight up and down. Yeah. So let's take a look at the replay. I know we have it on video.
So there we see it again. Go ahead, Blake.
So here we go. You can see a diagonal or circular pattern for that arc. It's not drop as if you were to drop a quarter. It doesn't drop straight down. All these, even that had a slight diagonalness to it where it wasn't straight up and down. Beautifully placed elbows that got Tariq Khalil to quit. You know, he may not have been completely hurt, but he got himself taken out of his game plan enough to try and argue with the referee, allowing Albert to continue an onslaught and get the referee stoppage.
You can't turn the referee, start talking to the referee in a pro fight. You still had to defend yourself, so you can't blame the referee for stopping it when you're no longer defending yourself. And all the elbow strikes looked perfectly legal. The last one was maybe, but it still wasn't straight down on the vertebrae, so we think he was the right winner and has the bantamweight belt. But now time, Blake, for the main event. Tommy Aaron, the Spaniard, the lightweight champion at 155 pounds, going up to fight for the 170-pound belt.
Dude, and he has a very tough match up ahead of him in Murali Husinov, a guy with heavy hands, a guy from a bigger weight class. This should be a scrap in our main event.
Break, and we'll be back with our main event. Tommy, the Spaniard Aaron, takes on Merali Husinov for the 170-pound welterweight Lights Out world title.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Merali Husanov.
Merali Husanov.
Merali Husanov, this guy is trained by Khabib and has Cain Velasquez, one of the heavyweight goats, in his corner tonight. Merali Husanov does well when he throws heavy punches as he blitzes forward towards his opponent. He needs to do this instead of fighting Tommy at long range. If he can stay in Tommy's face, then his chances of landing damage increase significantly. And as we've seen in the past, when Tommy Aaron gets hit, he often instinctually responds with strikes of his own, creating an exchange. I could potentially see Merali Husanov land a knockout punch during one of these exchanges.
And there you see Cain Velasquez, former UFC World Heavyweight Champion, one of the best ever. In my book, the best cardio of any heavyweight the UFC ever had.
Yeah, they say that C-level Cain is arguably the best heavyweight ever. And I say C-level because when he went and fought at altitude in Mexico City, it wasn't the same Cain Velasquez that we had seen at C-level. And I got to agree with that assessment of C-level Cain probably being the best heavyweight that we have ever seen to date.
And also for that fight in Mexico, Cain had so many things that he had to do beforehand. He wasn't able to go there, whereas his opponent, Verdum, went a month early. He was there the whole time. Definitely made a huge difference.
Yeah, being able to acclimate yourself to an environment that is totally different than what you're used to is such a massive advantage or disadvantage if you're not able to do it. Particularly when you're at altitude as high as Mexico City, basically a mile up from sea level.
Yeah, I moved to Mexico City for work, and just going up a flight of stairs, you notice it right away. It's a huge difference, especially for these fighters. 5-minute rounds, getting in there late, having lots of, being the champion, you have to do all the pressers, you have to fly all over the place, you have to fly to New York to promote, you have to go fly this. It was a bit of a reach, but he still had a great run, and hoping that his whole family life and all gets taken care of, and that his life.
Yeah, while we got Cain Velasquez on camera, I want to say that I am a huge supporter of him. I love what he did for him and his family. Shout out to Cain, #FreeCain.
Yeah, we support Cain 1,000%. I know the family, I know the beautiful family. So we wish him all the best. Let's go to Tyson Johnson.
And now, please welcome to the Lights Out cage, Tommy Aaron.
And now someone we also know very well. He's fought with us a couple of times. What an inspirational story. Someone who also gives all the credit to Jesus Christ for saving his life, for turning his life around. He gives all the credit for his family, for his faith, everything to Jesus Christ.
Such a great dude with such a big heart. It's almost scary that he's such a high-level fighter when he's being such a sweetheart in real life. And when we look at these two opponents, Tommy Aaron is the much more proficient striker of the two combatants. And I think this will be the difference maker of the fight. But Tommy needs to fight a technical battle to maximize his chances of winning. This means strategically picking his shots and disengaging after throwing to avoid reckless exchanges with his opponent. The longer the fight goes, the more likely we'll see Tommy start to batter Husanov on the feet until Tommy is able to secure a finish.
Lights Out wins in Lights Out Extreme Fighting 9. He won by submission. Lights Out Extreme Fighting 11, first round knockout. Lights Out Extreme Fighting 12, second round knockout.
And in his corner, you see John Marsh, a guy who has been around the fight game for decades and decades. Owner of Triton MMA in the South Bay, preparing Tommy for war. That's John Marsh right there on the left, putting Vaseline on Tommy's face.
And there's the lightweight belt. Tommy Aaron's the lightweight Lights Out champion. That belt is not on the line. He's now fighting for the vacant welterweight title. So if he wins, he will be two-time champion in two different weight classes. And the proud papa of twin boys, one born I believe it was December 11th, the other December 12th. So born one at 11 o'clock at night, the other one after midnight. So born different days. Numbers, anything jump out to you?
The only thing that jumps out to me is the records. Tommy Aaron, 12-6, 18 professional fights. Merali Husnov, 6-2, 8 fights. Less than half the experience inside of the cage that Tommy has, and he's never been in the bright lights like Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
Now I asked, well, let's go to Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of the evening. This bout will be 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. This bout will be for the vacant Lights Out Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 169 pounds. He represents Team AKA with a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins and 2 defeats. He hails from San Jose, California. Please welcome Merriman Husnov. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet, 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 169 pounds. He represents Triton MMA with a mixed martial arts record of 12 wins and 6 defeats. He hails from Torrance, California, and he's the current Lights Out lightweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Aaron. Your referee for this championship bout is Mike Beltran.
Man, now that I see both these guys in the cage together, you can see Husnov is a natural welterweight.
All right, gentlemen, been over the rules already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. The sound of the bell coming out and handle your business. Let's go.
The main event about to get underway. Alongside Blake Bulletproof Troop, I am Pablo Alcina. Tommy Aaron taking on Merali Husnov for the welterweight Lights Out world title. On the pants of Tommy Aaron, Psalms 144:1, which reads, "Praise be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle." With that phrase on his back, Tommy Aaron is ready for this fight. And the fight is underway. Main event of Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. Tommy Aaron, the red corner.
Oh. Big bombs by Husnov. Like I said, he likes to throw heavy. Although when he throws heavy, typically it's
And these are heavy punches. And again, Tommy Aaron's the lightweight title. That's at 155 pounds. This at 170. And Merali looks a lot wider. Tommy taller.
Yeah, Husnov is thick too. Look at the size of that dude's lats and stuff. He is a big boy, clearly significantly bigger than Tommy Aaron, and throwing big, powerful bombs. Tommy needs to be cautious of exchanges or eating any of those shots. Footwork moving in and out and picking his shots, fighting smart.
Vicious punches by Merali.
You know, but throwing big bombs like that leaves you extremely vulnerable to counter punches.
While speaking with Kane in the locker room, I said, "Is Merali ready?" And he said, "Yeah, he's ready," and this fight is over.
Wow. Whoa. Very powerful hands. Merali Husnov knocks Tommy Aaron out in the first minute of the fight and then lands a big backflip in the middle of the Lights Out Extreme Fighting cage, and Tommy Aaron is still down on the mats.
Our thoughts with Tommy, hope he's all right. Lots of times the fighters, they like the challenges. This fight of going up to 170 might have been a little bit too much for Tommy Aaron, and Merali Husnov caught him clean. I was speaking to Kane. I said, how's Ali look? How's Merali look? And he looks, oh, he's ready and he's strong.
Yeah, Tommy is wobbled, still on his feet, but not able. He is still, wow. What power we saw in the hands of Merali Husnov in his debut here at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. We still need to do the official decision, but we have ourselves a new welterweight champion, Pablo.
Yeah, let's give credit where credit is due. Merali Husnov came with Team AKA in his corner, with Cain Velasquez in his corner, and with furious power in that right hand. Luckily, Tommy seems to be okay. He got clocked. It was a clean shot, and it was all she wrote. new welterweight champion, Merriman. Husseinov.
Yeah, what heavy hands this dude has. Let's take a look at the highlights, which is going to be the Merali Husseinov show right now. I think he, that was the knockout. Completely turned his lights out. You can tell when a guy drops down, his brain's entirely shut off. His body did nothing to just make that fall easier.
It was a clean short hook and gets him clean right on the bun. I mean, you can have all the heart in the world, Blake, but sometimes when you get hit on that chin, it's all she wrote.
So he feinted the right hook, stepped in, and then followed with the right hook. Beautiful setup of his...
And then he kind of hit his head also strangely. It was a clean shot. Hey, it's the fight game, Blake. It's not easy to win any fight, and it's that quick it begun.
It's the fight game, and at any time, anybody can go lights out, and it just so happened to be Tommy Aaron's turn to do so. All the credit in the world to his opponent, Merali Husseinov, for coming in here with a fantastic game plan and getting the finish. And hats off to Tommy Aaron, one of the toughest competitors we've seen inside of the cage, hoping the best for him and his health after this matchup.
Yeah, and I'm hoping he's all right, and I'm hoping he'll be back to defend the lightweight title. I think he's with his size, his age, I think 155, he can still make the cut. Not easy, but 170, you get other monsters in there at 170, Blake. There's just a huge jump from 155 to 170. Talk about that a little bit, because people are like, oh, it's just 15 pounds. No, there's a lot more to that.
So the thing is, a lot of weight classes, you see 35 to 45 to 55, 10 pounds is a decent sized jump. You start going 15 pounds, and you are seeing a drastic difference, particularly with a guy like Merali Husseinov, who looks like he cuts a decent amount of weight, even to make 170 pounds.
And there you see Kane.
Go to Tyson Johnson. 1 minute into round number 1, your winner, and new lights out welterweight champion of the world, Ali Husseinov.
Merali Husseinov.
I need
with
more
the belt.
belt.
Bonnie with the new champ.
Merali, woo, that was quick. How much confidence did you have in the power of your...
Come here. Say.
How much confidence did he have in the power of his fist?
You cannot translate, brother. My leg, I was feeling so good, you know. I prepared so good. Like all of my teammates helped me always. I really appreciate all of my coach. Thank you, coach. Thank you, all of my teammates and Kill Cliff, Coach Henry. I really appreciate, and other coaches, other teammates, my brothers. I love you guys. I appreciate it. You helped me a lot.
With that knockout, where did he see the opening to go in?
Yeah, I trust only my power. I don't care if block or not. I can knock out even a block.
And lastly, how does it feel to walk out of here with that belt?
That's amazing feelings, you know. I need more belt. I was born for this, you know. Thank you very much for everyone.
Congratulations, McCallum. Follow back to you.
I like the answers. I like that he didn't need a translator. Perfect responses. And the final touch, I need more belts. I like this magic feeling. I think we all would want more belts.
You know, I think my favorite part of that was, I trust my power. I don't care if he blocks. I can knock him out. Which absolutely he did. You saw him wobble Tommy early in the fight while Tommy's hands were up. And then once he hit Tommy clean, Tommy got absolutely starched, and that's my boy, so it hurt to watch. But what a fantastic win for Merali Husseinov, and I think this guy is going to hold that lights out Xtreme Fighting welterweight belt for quite some time.
Yeah, and I love seeing Kane in his corner. I mean, when you have Team AK and Kane in your corner, you know you're a different beast, a different animal. And when Kane told me, Merali, he's ready, he's strong, and well, he delivered.
Yeah, what a fantastic card, Pablo. It's Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14, and I lost count of how many people have gone lights out of these 14 shows.
He's Blake Bulletproof Troop. I am Pablo Alcina. Thank you to everyone that made this amazing night possible. We'll be back soon for more. This was Lights Out Extreme Fighting 14. God bless all of you. Bye, bye, baby.